Alright, so we're live. I'm gonna wait until at least one person has joined me, but I always have to wait because I hardly ever advertise my live, so I never know if anybody's gonna notice that I'm out here, and so it's just me taking a chance. It's always me taking a chance. But it is bedtime. I am in my robe because I'm gonna go to bed immediately after this live stream. I just wanted to get on. Okay, so now there's two people, so now I can actually talk. I just wanted to get on live stream real quick because I was thinking about what I've recently ordered, and I wanted to talk to you guys and try to find out what you've recently ordered when it comes to K-pop. Um, I'm not going to talk about the group chat scandal much because there's really not a lot of new news to talk about. Choi Jung-hoon from FT Island has left the group. It sounds like he plans to retire from entertainment, and people are looking into bribery charges for him. The gentleman from CN Blue, Lee Jong-hyun, he has said that he made the mistake of being in the group chat, and that's really all his company has had to say. So he's not out of his group. He's not retiring from entertainment. He is currently in the military, so maybe that's a little bit of why they're not going full out. He's leaving the group, but I feel like once more information comes out, they're going to have no choice but to take him out of CN Blue because he's in the group chat asking for prostitutes, and his company's excuse is that he didn't know anything about sex, which is ridiculous. That is the dumbest excuse I've ever heard. I remember reading it out loud, and my daughter was in the living room with me. My daughter is 14. I was reading it out loud in the living room with her, and she was like, I know enough about sex to know that hiring a prostitute is gross. And I'm like, thank you. Appreciate you, child. And here you have a 25-year-old man, because he was 25 at the time. I didn't know anything about sex. Get out of here. Get out of here. But anyway, his stuff is at a standstill. More charges have been added to complaints against Sangri. They're talking about tax evasion. They're talking about taking women from Korea to Japan to be prostitutes. I read an article on AsianJunkie.com saying that Jung Jun-young is looking at 7.5 years in prison. So a lot of that's going on. Hi, Jade. But in addition to that, we also have the reopening of the suspicious death of Jang Ja-hyun. She is one of the mean girls from Boys Over Flowers, and I'm not saying that as anything about her personality. That was what her character is. Hey! And she committed suicide, according to the official inquiry into her death. However, before she committed suicide, she was scheduled to have a meeting with several people at her company to address, I'm okay, to address several complaints about sexual harassment and men that she was being pimped out to. I think they said it was 31 different individuals were listed in her complaint, and 2 hours before her meeting or 2 hours after her meeting, I'm not sure which one, she was found dead. So people feel like it's suspicious that like her case to be reopened, and a friend of hers has been trying to keep the investigation alive all these years, has gone into hiding because she was afraid of the powerful people on this list. So I'm hoping that that will be something that will be looked into very much, because it's heartbreaking to think that, young people look at a thing like K-pop, or they look at K-dramas, and it's so glamorous and it's so beautiful, and they think that being a part of it will be like living in a fairy tale. But what we never hear about in the fairy tales are all the people who work in the castle. And unless you are the top of the top, you have to deal with all the shit of being one of the people working in the castle. And sometimes it's some really nasty shit you have to deal with. So I hope that they will look into her death. There's a police officer who was looking into corruption in the Seoul Metropolitan and Gangnam police divisions. He was found dead of an apparent suicide. There's a lot of stuff. And I don't know how much real justice will be served in all of this, but if nothing else comes out of this, I hope that the entertainers who are shamed for being involved in this, the men, that they don't ever work again. And I also hope that it will discourage other idols from being involved in stuff like this. I hope that they'll look at the situation and say, you know what? It's just too big of a risk, and I just don't want to risk everything I've ever built on being caught doing something this incredibly stupid and harmful and shameful. That's the best outcome I can think of for everything that's been going on. It's just it'll serve as a cautionary tale about how even the highest of the high can be brought low. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but I hope that it is. Um, and I wanted to speak really quickly because again, I was just going to get on here and talk about collections. That's honestly what this was for. But I also want to talk really briefly about people who have problematic faves and what to do with your album collections. A lot of people who I am friends with have problematic faves. Whether they think they're problematic or not, it's just a fact. But with everything coming out and with the number of groups it's touching, the different styles of music that these groups are involved in, a lot of people are asking themselves, what do I do with my current collection, my memorabilia? What do I do with my things that I still wanted to collect and wanted to add to my collection? And this is how I feel. I know a lot of us who are serious collectors, who have big collections, lots of items. You know, I know that personally I'm looking at 50 plus shiny items in my collection. If something was to happen to completely tarnish Shiny's image and I felt supremely uncomfortable supporting them, there may still be a market for people who wanted to buy these things, and I would be willing to sell them to recoup some of my losses. Other things that were given to me as presents and or gifts, I would find a beautiful box. I would put these items in that beautiful box and I would put that box away so that I will have those items that are cherished memories for me, for the people that I care about who have treated me well, but at the same time, I'm not constantly reminded of this celebrity that has let me down. Also, for those who have collections that are incomplete and they want to continue collecting, but they're conflicted as to whether or not they're supporting the artist by continuing this collection, always buy used. Like if you are an FT Island collector and there are things in your FT Island collection that you really want, but you're afraid that by buying them, you're supporting Choi Jung-hoon, instead of buying brand new, buy used, because that's money that's already spent. Like those are record sales that have already been compiled. They can't be counted twice. And you can still buy these albums. And one thing that I think is very important to remember, because I think it gets a little bit lost in the sauce. Yes, I did a video saying Big Bang is over, and I mean that because OT5, it'll never be the same. But I don't place any blame on Top, GD, Daesung, or Taeyang. They didn't do this. And so I don't think it's fair to punish them for the crimes of this one individual. And if OT4 Big Bang does come back and they decide to promote, I will absolutely support them because there's a lot that I love that remains in that group. But it's not a betrayal of your fellow woman if you decide you want to buy Big Bang items from their past. But again, buy used. That way, you're getting what you want, but you're not contributing to additional funds for this person. You're fulfilling your collection, and you're still supporting the idea of this music for these people without adding any money to that pot. And anything released from here on out will be without the problematic individual. So you shouldn't have to feel guilty for that. But yeah, I would go used. I would go absolutely used for anything that's in the past collection of these people who are members of larger groups. I know recently Honky had responded to a fan comment about, not giving up hope. And he said, I've already given up. And he did a fan event that was an FT Island event, but I think he did it by himself. And, he's moving on. And there's no reason not to support him. And on FT Island albums, you may hear this individual sing background or you may hear them play an instrument, but there's so many other people involved in making this album. There are wardrobe stylists, there are producers, writers, fashion directors, MV directors. There's so many other people that are involved in what makes an album an album. So I highly recommend going used if you have a moral conflict with wanting to support that individual. I don't think that the group should be abandoned for that one person. However, if that one person was continuing to promote with that group, then yeah, I think I would probably throw the whole thing away. Like, it would be one thing if after all of this, these individuals are invited back into their groups and they're being held with, the tightest and closest of arms, and everybody's loving them and cherishing them and acting like nothing happened, then yes, throw the whole thing away. But if they are trying to move on without this individual and they're making the efforts, there's no need to throw away the entire concept because of this one person fucking it up for the group. So I'll read some comments here. So Jade says, I am glad that they extended the case. Someone has to go down for what happened to her. I agree. David says, I have not bought anything at all this year. I feel so disconnected after all this news. I agree. And Jade says, I've definitely was thinking about my Big Bang collection. Do I buy his album because I like the music? But now I don't know. Now, when it comes to solo artists, personally, I would leave it alone. If you like the music, there are streaming sites that you can listen to the music without contributing much financially to these individuals. But for me personally, I don't know that I could listen to Sungri's solo music and be cool with that because his voice is so prominent on his solo albums, obviously because he's a solo. So I don't know that that would be something that would be in my bag. JJY, I wouldn't buy any of his stuff at all. Not a single thing. Not Drug Restaurant, none of it. But to each their own. But I still say buy used. Absolutely buy used. Don't buy new so that YG doesn't get the money, the artist doesn't get the money. The only person who gets the money is the person who made the original investment. Okay, Onionator says, ran into Sungri's solo album at FYE for $40. Let's see how long it takes to sell now, LOL. I agree. It's probably going to take a minute. But yeah, it is interesting how much has happened in this short amount of time. But I'm hoping some really good things can come out of it. Again, I hope this serves as a detractor for people who are thinking that they can do this stuff. Okay. Hey, Rosario. She says, right now it's hard to listen to Big Bang music. I just think with everything going on, it's going to take a while to listen to it again. And I agree. I don't think that anybody should be forced to listen to that music. It takes a minute. I remember very early on in my life when I was younger and all the Michael Jackson stuff was happening, and before he had his court case and everything else and people were talking about the allegations, I remember feeling very uncomfortable enjoying his music because I didn't know what to think. I couldn't process it, and so I just avoided it for a minute. And once everything washes out, then you can decide how you want to go about enjoying the music or not enjoying the music. It's all up to you. But for those who want to still enjoy the music, this is the advice I'm giving for those people. For those of you who are conflicted, give yourself time. That's all I can say is give yourself time. You deserve a break. You deserve an opportunity to examine your feelings and your emotions. There are still people right now who want to believe the best for Sungri. And I don't want to call those people bad names because I don't think it helps the dialogue. But I think that reaction of not wanting to believe everything about him, it's not rooted in these people being anti-feminist or these people being awful people. I think it has everything to do with not wanting to accept an ultimate betrayal. I really think that's what it is. I really think it has everything to do with not wanting to believe that somebody could have pulled the wool over your eyes so successfully, that you could have been so blindly in love with somebody who could hurt you so bad. And I think that's the reason why, Yuchen, after all of his bathroom sex stuff, was able to retain fans, because people were looking for any excuse to not believe that he did this. So the minute he got an acquittal, everybody said, okay, well, he's innocent. He's innocent. Why are you still mad? He's innocent. Even though the woman that he sued, that he said brought false allegations against him, she was found not guilty as well. And the rationale in the case was that he couldn't have raped her because the bathroom was too small for it to be rape. It had to be consensual. Which, if that don't sound like the lamest excuse in the world, I have some swampland to tell you. Like, who is this jury? Who is this judge? How did they make this happen? But now he's being sued in a civil suit. And I think that because of everything that's going on right now, some people are opening their eyes. But, people loved Yuchen. I personally really liked Yuchen. I thought he was fantastic in Rooftop Prince. And I was really hurt when the allegations came out. I immediately stopped supporting him. But I understand why some people didn't feel that way because, again, he was acquitted. So he must not have done it because he was acquitted. But yeah, I mean, I think people just don't want to be hurt that way. And I really think that's what a lot of the reaction is. It's not that people hate these women or that under other circumstances they wouldn't believe these women. It's just in these cases, they don't want to be hurt. So let's go back and read some comments here. Jade says, I was just saying that now no one is going to want to buy the C and Blue and FTL albums I'm selling. Oh, sorry. There might still be some people who want to buy it, though. Cutie Cat 6 says, I don't know how to feel. I kind of feel like a bad person. I connected to a lot of their songs. All of these people were my biases and have been hated on because I want them to get help mentally to become better. I would like to see them get help. But I don't want to see them get help so they can go back to entertainment. I want to see them to get help for themselves. At my job, we used to have a maintenance guy that we fired last year in 2018. And we fired him because he wasn't really doing his job well. There was a lot of stuff we found out that he was doing that was really wrong. He had actually sexually harassed one of the people we were working with and caused her to get fired from her job. He was having an affair with a colleague. He was cheating on his wife. He was drinking very heavily. Like, there was a lot of wrong going on with him, and he was let go from our company. Well, last month he was found dead. And cause of death, he literally drunk himself to death. And when I heard that, I immediately felt really bad for him because I remember thinking, wow, I cannot believe what a sad death you've had. But at the same time, I didn't feel like me or my colleagues or my employer were at fault for firing him. I don't think that led to his death. And if anything, I wish that 10 years ago, 20 years ago, he found out what it was that caused him to lead such a destructive life. I wish that 20 years ago he had found out what caused him to be a compulsive liar. I wish he had found out what caused him to think that he could find solace in a bottle. I wish he could find out why it is that he was unsatisfied being faithful to one woman. I wish he could find out what it is about himself that wasn't enough, so he had to build up all these lies around himself. And so I don't wish that these guys get help so that they can return to entertainment. I wish that they would get help so that they will never hurt anyone else again in their lifetime. And I wish they would get help so that they can actually lead a life that they can be proud of. Because right now, there's nothing to be proud of. Right now, they are stuck in a spiral of shame. A spiral of shame that they perpetrated and that they cultivated to get to this moment. And so if they do get counseling, I want it to be so that they can live the remainder of their life being the person that we all believe that they were from the beginning. Let me read some more comments here. Yes, I think it's hard for them to accept it, and I think it's unfair for people to attack that. Noseon says Yuchin's lawyer also asked the victim how she could have been raped when she could have just moved her hips away if she didn't want to be penetrated or something like that. So wow, wow, what a there's a special place in hell for certain attorneys. Rosario says Sungri was my fave along with Taeyang, and it was hard to take in all these allegations, but it also didn't surprise me. We are all individuals, and we are all allowed to feel differently. And most fans I'm seeing are taking it hard. It's difficult to understand why he would make the choices that he made. Hey Tarian, but there is no real motive or reason to justify his choices. He has to do with the path he chose. And I agree. I think that there's a lot of shoulda coulda wouldas. There's a lot of things that we would like to go back and understand and get explanation for, and there's a lot to unpack there. But I think the thing that is also the biggest sticking point for those who critique Sangri and who are the most upset at him is that while it doesn't make them any better of a person, at least two different individuals involved in this have admitted their wrongdoing. Maybe not to the full extent of what they've done, but they've taken some responsibility for some wrongdoing. Whereas to today, Sungri's excuse for retiring is that the public hates him. Not that he's done anything wrong, but that the public hates him and he doesn't want them to hate YG and he doesn't want them to hate Big Bang. And it is a lack of acknowledgement of how you possibly had a role in this. And that lack of acknowledgement, that lack of responsibility, that lack of, buying into your share of it, that's something that's going to make it much more difficult for people to have any sympathy for him, because he's not even acknowledging that, yes, I was in the wrong for something. Same thing with Jonghyun from Seeing Blue, which I hate that his name is Jonghyun because I don't want to use that name with this situation. But failure to acknowledge that maybe you need to step back from all this, like maybe you deserve a share in these problems, that's what's making people so mad. It's like, we're going to be mad regardless because you did something wrong, but it's infuriating for you to do something wrong and to still tell everybody, it's just, that's just what they're saying about me. That's just what they're saying about me. I'm a victim of public perception. Like that is the worst. That is the worst feeling, to know that you won't accept that this is you. Like in a regular personal relationship, when you get in an argument with somebody and you know they did something wrong and they refuse to take responsibility for it, that shit crawls under your skin almost as much as the crime. Now granted, in this situation the crimes are much worse than the failure to take responsibility, but it's just like, for a start, at least, admit, I'm in this group chat. These things that they said are real. I really had these conversations. Do that much. No, it's not doing it. Okay, I'm missing some comments here. So Tarian says, I still can't believe that so much stuff is coming out about the whole situation, and I hope that all the VIPs are doing okay, and also the fans of CN Blue and FT Island and the other celebrities. Notion says, I can't believe FNC is not firing Jonghyun. Shine Baby Muse says, I honestly feel like Sungri and the other boys are running away, so to speak, from the situation and not addressing it themselves. Rosario says, yes, I think Sungri should take responsibility and own up to what he did. I don't have a problem with people attacking him or being mad at him. Jade says, I think it's because Jonghyun has a lot of stock in FNC along with Younghwa. I've heard that exact same thing too. I've heard that because Jonghyun is a stockholder, that is the reason why he hasn't been fired from his group. Fake Aurora says they need to step up and take responsibility for their actions. Cutie Cat 6 says, I agree 100% that they shouldn't come back. I just want them to see what made them go downhill. I also think that our higher people could also have an involvement with it, and this is where the no emotions come from in a mental point of view. And Rosario says, But those who attack fans who are mixed with emotion is not right in my opinion, because it doesn't solve anything nor contribute to anything besides more negativity. And I agree. The fans that are hurt by this, no one seems to have sympathy for that, but it's like they can't see that these aren't bad people. Like, yes, right now the way they're reacting is not the most healthy way to react to the situation, but these aren't bad people. These are hurt people. I've had conversations with people who are fans of Jung Jun Young. Jun Young. I keep saying his name wrong, but again, I don't care about saying it right. And I've had conversations, private conversations with people who are fans of Sungri. And in those private conversations, more than anything, they said, I don't know what to do. I'm so hurt and I'm so confused and I just don't know what to do. Whether it's talking about, I don't know what to do with my collection, or I don't know what to do with my emotions. These are people who don't know what to do, because it's not like some of these people just found out about this celebrity yesterday. For some of these people, it's years of investment. For some of these people, it is lots of money that's been spent. For some of these people, it's experiences, like life experiences. Like, this song reminds me of the day my mother got out the hospital, or this song reminds me of when I graduated from high school, or this was the song that I listened to after my dog died and it helped me get through that moment. And so when you take those things into consideration, it makes sense that people are having a hard time disassociating from these celebrities, because they've invested. They've invested. And if you want to even take the analogy of people who get ripped off by pyramid schemes or financial scam artists, they're hurt. They're in disbelief when they find out they've been ripped off, and they're hurt because they've built a life believing that this investment that they made was going to turn out okay, that it was going to be beneficial to them, that, the relationship was going to grow, and then it all turns to nothing. It was all built on nothing. And that is a hard reality to take, and it changes everything. You think of all the money that you've wasted. You think of all the time that you've wasted. You think of all of the things you could have been doing besides what you did do in the name of this celebrity. And it makes you sick, because you practically have to start over, and you have to throw all that away in a lot of instances. And to not have sympathy for that, I don't get it. And you can say over and over again, well, I have more sympathy for the girls who were victims, and I have more sympathy for the women who were videotaped. No one's saying you can't have sympathy for both. Sympathy is not mutually exclusive. It's not like there is a small box of sympathy that can only go to one person. And so you have to make up your mind, who's going to get this box of sympathy? Am I going to put it over here? Am I going to put it over there? The sympathy is for everybody. The sympathy is for everybody, because everyone's a victim here, except for the perpetrators. But everyone else is a victim. These girls are victims. These fans are victims. We're all victims. And so why can't we share sympathy? Some of us are more victimized than others, but we're all in this. So why is it that it can only be reserved for one special population? Okay, so let's go back, because there's a lot of comments I missed. It says, Nojin says, have you seen the video of Jungin groping Hyejung from AOA and also trying to touch someone from SNSD butt? He's such a creep. No, but I heard about those videos. Teforic says, OMG, I keep wondering if the members of Big Bang knew about all this but kept quiet like so many others. I've wondered about that myself, especially because recently a bunch of videos have been coming up of like the members of Big Bang warning Sungri about his friends. One in particular of Top just saying, like, backstage, people are hanging out with Sungri, and I just get the feeling that they're only hanging out with him because he is Sungri from Big Bang, not because of who he is. There's another video of them in Japan saying, hey, we're all going to be gone in the military. You are the representative from Big Bang. Don't fuck it up. And then there's another video of them saying, where do you see yourselves in the future? And I think it was Taeyong said, I imagine Sungri calling me, asking for money, and me telling him this is a bad time. Like, there's all this kind of, it sounds like foreshadowing. But at the same time, I think there is a misconception amongst people who are maybe new to K-pop or people who are like real fans of groups. Yes, to a large extent, these groups are closer than family because they spend the majority of their time together and they're very close in that way, not only on a professional relationship, but they're some of the only people in the world who knows what it's like to be them. And so they share a lot of experiences in that way. But at the end of the day, they were brought together by a company. And they are together because of a professional obligation. And so there's going to be parts of their lives that they don't share with one another. That's them keeping their anonymity, them keeping their, not anonymity, them keeping their, oh my gosh, I can't think of the word, autonomy, them keeping their autonomy, them keeping their kind of sense of self. And so there's probably a lot of business that Sungri did that the other members of Big Bang did not know about in terms of specifics, friendships that he had that they weren't involved in. I mean, none of the other members of Big Bang were listed as being members of the group chat. And so they might have had a sneaking suspicion that Sungri had these suspicious involvements, but not necessarily knowing what was exactly suspicious. It's kind of like the old phrase, something in the milk ain't clean. You don't know what it is in the milk that's not clean, but you know something in the milk ain't clean. So you avoid it. And so, I don't know. We'll see. Let's see here. Yeah, he was the one who was exposed in that viral video for groping Jessica years ago. My friend is a VIP, and she was emotionally attacked left and right for supporting the rest of Big Bang and is genuinely hurt by the entire thing. It's hard for them, and all the hate is not helping. I'm glad you can understand it, Sam, because a lot of people don't try to understand others, and trying to understand others is so important, even if you don't disagree. Even if you don't agree, once you lose yourself, you can't come back till you get help. I know this because of my mental disorders. I've been through traumatizing issues since I was 5, and saying that the mental fact is an issue. I'm sorry to hear that, Kitty Cat 6. You know, nobody should have to go through issues like that, especially at such a young age. So I hope you're recovering well. Sorry I didn't get the notification you were live. That's okay. I hardly ever give the notification, so it's not your fault. Jade says, I feel like the members have always been worried about Sungri and who he surrounds himself with. Cutie Cat says, again, I'm not siding with any of them, but I'm trying to be logical while having justice be served. If these people don't get help, this issue will keep going on until it's completely stopped from the origins. I agree. Hold just a second, guys. Sorry, I didn't want to wipe my nose on camera because I was like doing it already. I do think that, again, I agree that they need help. But I think that punishment is also necessary because I think, and this is going to be an unpopular thing I'm about to say, but I think a lot of times we give too much credence to the things we've been through and make them more powerful than what they can be. I do know that childhood trauma is a very hard thing to overcome because the years where your personality is being formed and you're becoming who you're going to be, they're called formative years for a reason because they literally mold you into your person. But there are people who have gone through horrific childhoods and become model citizens and have spent their lives righting the wrongs of their childhood. And then there are other people who took the crimes perpetrated against them and they used that as an indoctrination period and they became the perpetrators of crimes. Everybody has an opportunity to move differently, to either recognize what happened to them as being wrong or to look at what happened to them and decide that they don't want to change. But your wrongdoing is your wrongdoing. Whether the wrongdoing was something you were taught as a child, whether it's something you picked up as a teenager, whatever it is, once you become an adult, and especially a grown ass man like these men were, and you start making these mistakes, you can't put it off on, well, no one ever taught me how to respect women. And you can't put it off on, no one ever taught me proper relationship techniques or values or relationship boundaries. You can't keep putting it off on, at some point or another, this becomes your problem. And therapy is good so you can learn how to not continue these behaviors, but you have to be punished for the things that you did initially, because you cannot correct what you don't acknowledge. And it starts with acknowledging that you've done wrong. Where that wrong behavior came from is a totally down the road conversation, but right now, in the here and now, you have to acknowledge, I have done wrong and I need to know how to make this right. I need help to make this right, whether it's money or whether it's punishment in terms of being locked up, whatever it is, I did wrong. And it is really difficult for people with egos big enough to make themselves celebrities to acknowledge that they have done wrong. That is a very hard pill for a lot of celebrities to swallow, because it takes a certain kind of ego to get to that point. You should write a book, huh? No, I'm not writing a book. Jade says, I just want to know what made Sungri want to get into this in the first place. Like, obviously, no one wakes up wanting to start a prostitution ring, but like, why? I don't understand Sungri. Why would he jeopardize his own legacy? I think with Sungri, and I've been thinking about it a lot, I think with him, okay, what makes things even crazier to me with Sungri is that he's always had this whole player personality with a lot of his solos, MVs, and stuff. Yeah, I see that. I remember really early on in Big Bang's history, they did some interview with somebody, and somebody said that he likes to, what was it? Okay, so in Korea, pornography is illegal, right? Hey Lupe. Pornography is illegal. And so because pornography is illegal, people don't say, I'm going to download pornography. They say other terms for it. And I remember early on, a long time ago, Big Bang had this interview where Sungri mentioned that he likes to watch a lot of basketball and he downloads a lot of basketball videos. And basketball was the euphemism for porn. Thank you. And they talked about how Sungri loved so much basketball. And I remember that very specifically because this was something that came out like right when the whole Japanese prostitution scandal happened. And I remember thinking then, Sungri might have a sex addiction. Like it was not something that I discussed in any videos or anything like that, but I just remember thinking like, it sounds like Sungri's got a sex addiction. Like he seems like he is really interested in sex. And then totally separate from that, I remember hearing about the sex industry in Korea and how while prostitution is illegal in Korea, the host club entertainment business is alive and thriving. The Love Hotel business is alive and thriving. The Love Hotel business basically are hotel rooms you can rent by the hour, because a lot of young people, even people in their mid-20s, live at home until they get married. And so having a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you don't want to bring your boyfriend or your girlfriend home to have sex, so you might go to a love hotel for a couple of hours to have a little sex and then leave. And along with that, the host club thing. It was no secret that people from SM would go to host clubs where you'd have young women or young men who are paid to talk to members of the opposite sex or sometimes members of the same sex. And they're paid to spend time with these people. But ain't nobody paying for a conversation. People are paying for something else. And there are VIP rooms in the back about, going and getting a little in. And so that was a thing. And I also remember Simon and Martina talking about how a lot of the prostitutes in Korea have business cards. Business cards, just like in Vegas. In Vegas, where prostitution is legal, prostitutes have business cards. And these business cards have like their picture and their contact information, and you can go to wherever they happen to be working and you can engage in sex with them. In Korea, business cards. So these pimps will be on the street and they'll just throw business cards out. You could pick up a business card in the street, off of a flyer, wherever else, call this guy, let him know what you're interested in, and they can hook you up. So even though prostitution is illegal in Korea, it is basically an open secret that everyone knows about. And so you've got a society that shames consensual sex. It tells you that getting pregnant before marriage is awful and wrong. Single mothers are vilified. Their children are shamed and ostracized in society. Prostitution is illegal. Pornography is illegal. But yet these are all openly enjoyed things that men brag about enjoying even though they are illegal. So when you have a situation where society says the problem is with the people who can make money off the sex, not the people paying for the sex, that's how you get here, right here. Because if prostitution is not illegal, then Sungri can't pimp a prostitute. She now has agency. She decides who she wants to see, when she wants to see them. She can openly negotiate how much money she wants to get paid. Not only that, but if she enters into a situation that's unsafe, she can call the police and say, I made an arrangement to come to this particular location to meet this particular person and be paid X amount of dollars, won, whatever, to have this sexual encounter with this individual, and something completely opposite happened. I would like the police to come in because a crime has been committed. But when all of this is underground, when all of this is in the dark, these women and even men do not have any protection under the law, because the law is not going to protect you when you're doing something illegal. So that's how you end up in this situation. That's how you end up with Sungri and his associates using hidden camera footage and, selling women like Pokemon trading cards, because sex in their world has been criminalized. And because sex is criminalized, it's no longer about the relationship that sex has with emotions. It's about sex as trade. Sex is a commodity. And that's when it starts to be less and less, I'm dealing with human beings, and more, I'm dealing with inventory. And that's how you get to this point. So I've missed a few things going on here. Let's say, didn't he download like hella porn on a staff member's iPad, something like that? I think that's what was said during the episode. Yeah, I watched the Vice video about sex in Korea. I remember some sasaengs actually sold themselves to pay off taxi drivers to stock idols since taxis are expensive. Gee whiz. Girl, don't sell yourself for a taxi ride. Quote that. When I learned about how single moms in Korea were treated, it upsets me. It upsets me too. Yeah, I agree on that 100%. If JJY had 7 years and 6 months, then I wonder how long Sungri to be in it. So I am hopeful that they can get a therapist. At the same time, I'm trying my hardest to get better. Yeah, I mean, it just, you have a society that doesn't give support, and it's a part of the patriarchy. It's a part of the devaluation of women in society. But definitely, it's one of those things where they don't want to give prostitution legality because it's about trying to give off this image of being a society with high moral grounds, even though it's an open secret that prostitution is engaged quite frequently in a lot of different places and a lot of different social hierarchies. But it's about that societal presentation of morality, So There you go. Dante says a video resurfaced of Sungri and his sister having a conversation, and she was talking about BTS's J-Hope and EXID's Sharon. Sungri wanted to meet them, but the sister didn't fulfill his request. That was weird. I mean, there was a video I saw today actually of Mino from Winner, and he was on Weekly Idol, but it wasn't Weekly Idol. It was their new show that's kind of like Weekly Idol, but it's not. Anyway, he was on there, and they were interviewing him and talking to him about why doesn't Sungri have his number. So I guess him and Sungri did that video together, and then Sungri was on a television show or a radio show, I can't recall, but he was trying to call Mino, and when he called, somebody else answered the phone, and when they answered the phone, it was like some middle-aged woman. It wasn't even his number, and he like basically gave a fake number to Sungri. And they were kind of criticizing, like, well, why wouldn't you give your Sunbae your real number? What's going on? And he kind of like laughed it off or whatever. But you could see on his face that he's kind of like, I don't even want to talk about this. Like, he was like stone-faced the whole time. They're like, so what's the deal with Sungri not having your number? And he's like, yeah, I heard that he called and he got some middle-aged woman. And they're like, oh, what are you talking about? Like, he was so trying not to address it at all. But yeah, I mean, I think that people know. I heard that there was an article about how investors want YG removed for failure to supervise his artist. I don't know if that's real or not. I don't ever want to like assume something like that is real because it sounds too good to be true. But once all of this is put through the wash and results are made and people are starting to see real jail time, I would like to know how the investors would like YG to proceed in managing his artist from here on out, because from what has been reported, Louis Vuitton has already withdrawn their investment in YG. So it's only a matter of time before people start blaming him for the big stock dip, and they start saying that they want him out of a leadership position because of all of the negative publicity. And I wonder how long that's going to take, how long it's going to be before people realize that YG himself is a huge part of why all of this is happening. Kush just got his sentence for cocaine. I think they gave him a couple of years. They gave him a couple of years, a suspended sentence, and a fine of $772. And that doesn't seem like much time to me. Honestly, like, you would get way more time than that in the United States for cocaine. I'm serious. Like, you would get real time for cocaine. Especially for getting it mailed to you. Like, that would be mail crimes are huge. They're felonies in the United States, honestly. But with Kush having his thing, Top having his marijuana scandal, GD having had a marijuana scandal, Sungri's group chat scandal, the fact that there are several artists on the label who haven't had releases in quite a while, so career mismanagement there. I'm wondering if all of this will lead to people finally saying that maybe he's not to be let in charge anymore. The mishandling of the Mix 9 television show and that debacle right there. The lawsuit that I still think is not resolved from the fact that YG chose not to promote the group that won Mix 9. So when you put all of this together, plus the tax evasion investigation from his restaurants, when you put all that together, maybe it's not such a wild idea that YG should no longer be in charge of the company. Maybe Teddy should be in charge of the company. Just a thought, just a thought. So I missed a bunch of comments again, so I got to go back. Let's see. Like the U.S., a clean society. Exactly. You know, it's fake morality. It means nothing. Mino knows something. I think that's the reason why he did all of that, is because he probably knows quite a bit about Sungri's private actions. Absolutely. You know, the reason why Sungri is one of those idols that everybody sees him sitting all in Sehun's lap and, you know, trying to make friends with all the young idols, it has nothing to do with just like, oh, I just want to be a good Sunbae to you. It's about access. Sungri, in a lot of ways, is very shrewd. He's not the best singer in Big Bang. He is not the best dancer in K-pop. What Sungri is he is a networker. Sungri is in Big Bang because of his personality, period, point blank. He was great for variety. He does a lot of hosting work in other countries. All of that is because he has that gift of game. And people who talk a lot of shit that work their way up the ladder because of all the shit they talk, they're constantly looking for new connects. They want to get in on the ground floor of all these new idols because once these people jump up, he wants to have access. Like if Sungri could, like if he had been smart enough to anticipate the meteoric rise of BTS, don't think for a second that he wouldn't have been on broadcast talking about, let me call up my good friend Suga. Let me call up my great friend J-Hope. Like he totally would have done that. He totally would have done that. And that's the reason why he was trying to get in good with Kang Danielle. That's the reason why he was trying to reach out to all these one-on-one boys. Like he was plotting his next move. Absolutely. Plotting the next generation that he could have influence with so that when they grow up big and strong and powerful, that'd be somebody else he could call in a favor for. That's what that's about. It's a game. It's a game. Don't nobody want to be friends with you when they're in a more powerful position than you because you're just so fucking special and you're just so fucking cute. No, it's because they want something from you. Whether it's that they want to be around you because you make them happy, whether it's they want you to share your talent with them, or they want to fuck you. Whatever it is they want something from you. They want something from you. Even people who are on an even keel with you, sometimes it's hard to maintain relationships there. But when somebody has so much more power and influence than you, and they're trying to make you feel special, and like you guys are peers, even though they've got age on you and they've got position on you, it's because they want something from you and they're looking to use you. Mason says, it's crazy how many questionable videos of Sungri or people talking about him have resurfaced, and now YG is rushing a Blackpink comeback, props to divert bad press. Yeah, because apparently it's supposed to come out in like 2 weeks. It's crazy. Also, as of right now, YG has lost 25% of his stock, so he's in trouble. YG as a whole is taking a huge hit because of this, and it's not fair to everyone else. Shine Baby Muse says, I really do hope that YG steps down. I know that he sounds negative, but there's so much dirt and negligence from him that someone else needs to take over the label. I agree. Because I'm sick and tired of all these talented people being neglected under YG, and like Jay said, it's not fair at all to them. The article about a JYP member dissing YG about himself and really trash talking Big Bang as a whole. Meant to say, I know it sounds negative, lol. Okay. On the YG strategy show, some people have said comments about Sangri like, he makes me feel uncomfortable, watch out for him, he's so high on his pedestal. OMG, if Teddy runs the company, maybe Blackpink can get a new producer. I heard RT and Anda's song and almost went to BP. RT already produces for BP since debut, I think, so I don't know if they need new producers. When it comes to producers, I think YG's got a good crop there. They've got a lot of young producers. They do really great work. And some of their artists don't even really need producers. Like Zion T, he can produce himself. Acton Musician, they kind of can produce themselves. So I don't think it's a matter of not having access to song. I think it's more of a matter of YG deciding who is his fave right now. And if you notice, a lot of times YG doesn't start releasing projects for his more neglected artists until the fan outcry gets too loud, you know, and he always does it with these weak, I'm so sorry I waited so long, but I'm finally gonna give E-High 2 comebacks. Miss me with that bullshit. Get out of here. Get out of here. But yeah, I think that he waits until the fan outrage just builds to a crescendo, and then he's like, oh, okay, well, now we'll release it. And then it's shit that's already been in the can. You know, like we all know that there is a complete 21 Black Eyed Peas album. We know it's out there. It's never been released. Those songs might have been released as singles for other people, but yeah, that album is complete. there's probably actually 2 albums worth of 2NE1 material that we have never heard. CL's got a whole album that's been recorded that we've never heard. She showed us part of a music video that she filmed that never came out. Like, it's not that there's no material. It's that he doesn't release the material. It's there. It is there. And honestly, if YG's producers don't have time, there are so many other producers, songwriters, everything who can do the work. It doesn't have to all be Teddy. It didn't have to all be Kush. It doesn't have to all be whoever. You know, if Jonghyun can write Breathe for Ehi, why can't other people write? You know, Brave Brothers used to write for YG. Do people forget about that? So there are people who can produce, who can write, who can craft images and comebacks and everything else. The fact of the matter is, it is about who can somehow get into YG's good graces to get these releases. You know, all of this stuff is there. All of this stuff is there. Exactly. Apparently, Brave Brother says he wrote that song for 2NE1 and he gave it to Bomb because 2NE1 was never going to record it. So that's what I'm saying. There's a ton of music just sitting there and waiting to be released. And he picks and chooses who gets to release what. And it's not fair because this is people's lives. One of the reasons why an artist like Janet Jackson or Barbra Streisand or Madonna can still make sold out tours to this day is because their catalog sells itself. If Janet Jackson decided tomorrow that she was never going to release a single new song in her career, she ain't got to. She doesn't have to release a fucking thing because I can sing her entire first 4 albums of discography. Hey, Anthony. So why would YG make it to where artists like 2NE1 don't even have more than a couple of handfuls of songs to sing? They got 2 full albums and 2 mini albums. Does that make any sense? And some digital singles. Does that make any sense? It makes no sense to me. I Love You, Happy were supposed to be released on the same album. That's a fact. And you can't tell me otherwise. And the reason I know it's a fact is because Dara has the same hair in both. It's just that one, her hair is finger waved, and the other one, it's not. But she had the same hair. And I'm convinced that what happened is that either I Love You didn't sell enough and so they didn't feel comfortable for releasing Happy, and then when they released Falling in Love and Do You Love Me, it wasn't enough of a buzz, and that's why they didn't release that album. But that is an album. Happy was supposed to be on the album with I Love You, and that's where Falling in Love and Do You Love Me were supposed to be. So, I mean, there is a catalog of music. There is a catalog of music. And so I don't ever want to hear that, oh, I'm looking for the right song. You have the right song. Release it. Just release it. Okay, so let's go back. It says, CL has albums plural. I believe that in my heart of hearts. LOL, the YG faves thing is the real tea. He just doesn't want to do so and waits out till fans are royally pissed off. Oh, and Minzy's solo album that was in the works. Apparently, Bomb's new song Spring was written and recorded by 2NE1 in 2007, but was scrapped before debut. He releases stuff for his non-faves to shut the fans up for the most part. Agreed. Yes, Blackpink would have done a fine job with the song, but considering Anda has so little to her name for the years she's been in the game, I personally think she deserves more material. 2007. Wow. Hi, Sam. Wow, Spring was written back in 2007. That explains the retro R&B sound that it has. LOL. Falling in Love, Do You Love Me, I'm Missing You were all supposed to be on that album as well. And yeah, I'm sure YG has tons of hidden shelved albums and singles for 2NE1 and other people. I'm still mad at the fact that they are ready to make a comeback when they broke up. They were ready to make a comeback when they broke up. I Love You is one of their best-selling songs. It's not a money thing. It's YG being a bitch. All those singles sold hotcakes. So it sounds like instead of YG releasing based on what is good and use the talent he has, he bases releases on who he likes and what they do for him. How annoying, true. He almost didn't let BI release Love Scenario. Hanbin had to fight for that shit. I can't believe he almost didn't release Love Scenario. And I mean, the pronunciation of the word scenario still cracks me up to this day, but it's a certified hit. Not only ready, but it had been recorded and fully ready to go, and YG just never released the final 21 album. Absolutely. Absolutely. The lie he told about how they were in the studio recording the album, but then bombed the recording. Like, YG being a bitch might be my new favorite thing, Mason. But it's true. It is true. He laid the blame for the breakup of 2NE1 on Park Bom's back. And you know why he did it? Because he knew that that girl was fragile. He knew that the medicine scandal had broke her down, and he knew she was in a bad place, that she was really currently going through a mental breakdown. And instead of giving her the support that she needed, finding a way to help rehab her personality in society, instead he just said, I got these new girls and I'd like to release them, and the best way to do this is to get rid of these old girls. And that's what he did. I mean, I will never forgive him for that. I will never forgive him for the fact that he let Minzy languish the way that he did. I'll never forgive the fact that the Korean public was stupid enough to lay everything on Bomb's shoulder and not even question the fact that somebody had to be able to cover it up for as long as it was covered up and blame it squarely on YG. I'll never forgive him for the fact that he tried to tarnish Minzy's name after she left the group and make it seem like she's the reason why there's been no music out, when nothing could be further from the truth. I hate the way that he makes CL look like a fucking fool out here, dancing and shucking and jiving in the background of other people's projects because hers can never get off the ground. I will never forgive him for the fact that he made her release Lifted. Like, really and truly, if I could really put one of the things that, like, most tanked CL's English career, it's Get Lifted. And you can argue all you want with me and say that that's not the case. I disagree to a high extent, because I saw on Twitter somebody said CL never debuted in America and Blackpink's already been on whatever shows. Then this is somebody who obviously is not familiar with history, because if you recall, CL was on James Corden. But I digress. CL's Get Lifted was quote unquote a buzz single, even though supposedly Hello Bitches and Dr. Pepper were buzz singles. So what does a buzz single even mean anymore? Get Lifted, really and truly, was supposed to be her debut into America. Lifted was a song that would have been great if it had come out 10 years earlier. Lifted was not the song that CL needed to release in America at the time she released it. Dr. Pepper would have been a better single. Even though Dr. Pepper sucked, at least Dr. Pepper had like people who were in people's ear. Like Major Lazer was in people's ear. So at least that would have made sense. Hello Bitches was a great song. Hello Bitches should have been the push, especially because Hello Bitches had the girls from the Justin Bieber Sorry video, that whole New Zealand outfit. That would have made so much more sense. But instead it's Get Lifted. Get Lifted, who has fucking what's his name? I want to say Ashton Kutcher, but it's Asher Roth. Asher Roth, who did I Love College, a song that came out when I was in college, and bitch, I'm gonna be 40 this year. Asher Roth writes Lifted for CL that uses a sample from a Method Man song that came out when I was in high school. And again, reminder for all who forget, I'm gonna be 40 this year. How the fuck did they think that the combination of those two old heads was gonna make for the hot new shit? Not only that, but you got Asher Roth writing this song in his same dopey, slow ass, out of style rapping flow. You got a sample from a Method Man song that the white kids don't really know. And I'm not saying that to be racist. I just mean that white kids buy albums and, you got to give them something they know. And you got CL at the beginning of the video dancing in a window in a bikini and a fur coat. Who thought that this was going to work? And then you have, on top of all that, because YG is so fucking culturally insensitive and doesn't get anything about culture outside of Korea. They don't even think that maybe it's not a good idea to have a Korean lady who's trying to break into the American rap scene doing a video where she's in her sexiest clothes surrounded by a gang of black dudes looking like all she wants to do is bang. Like, that's the way that looked. You've got her surrounded by people drinking 40 ounces. 40 ounces. My gosh. People haven't drunk 40 ounces since the 80s, when I was a child. And again, for those who didn't hear before, I'm going to be 40 this year. I hope you buy me presents. You've got her drinking 40s, hanging out with a gang of black people like they were paid to be there, quoting Method Man lyrics with a song written by Asher Rock. The fuck is going on? Who in the 2000 aughts thought that was a good idea? Like, seriously, who in the 2000 aughts thought that was a good idea? So yeah, of course it was gonna bomb. Of course it was gonna tank. So I can't understand why anybody lets YG off the hook when he set her up. He set her up. You have access to Scooter Braun, which means you have access to Justin Bieber, and you have access to Ariana Grande, and you have access to their network of friends. And this was the best you could do? This was the best you could do. Fuck. I don't even have... Let me write... Let's just have some fun. Let me write CL's debut into American society. Okay. I want to give her somebody hot, so I'm going to scroll through these SoundCloud screets and see who I can find to be in these SoundCloud screets. I'm thinking about a video. Nothing but badass Asian bitches. I'm inviting Aquafina. I'm inviting the cast of Fresh Off the Boat. I'm inviting any of the hot Asian girls that got the Jabberwockies dancing in the background. And we're going to take a sample of an old Korean song, not arirang, but something that's like a Korean folk song, but just has a really mysterious melody to it. I'm mixing that shit up, dropping it low. I'm finding whoever Cardi B's ghostwriter is. I'm inviting that person to help write some lyrics. And that's how I'm crafting CL's American debut. And then I'm throwing it out there. Hell, you know what is such a... Now that I'm thinking about it, do you know what was such a missed opportunity? Why didn't CL have a song on the soundtrack for Crazy Rich Asians? And I'm not saying that because she's Asian. I'm saying because it makes sense in terms of strategic placement. So that's why I'm saying, yes, Cardi B has a ghostwriter. Did you really think she wrote that stuff, Mason? No. She has a ghost. She's been had ghostwriters, and she acknowledges it herself. So that's what I'm saying. Why don't you have these people in line to create synergy, to make it work, to make it happen? You've never heard of Aquafina? Aquafina's funny. Look up Aquafina, and it is funny. Yeah, she's acknowledged it. She acknowledged it from the very beginning. Like, even when people were saying she stole Kodiak Black's flow on Bodak Yellow, she's like, sure did. So, I mean, come on. It's never been a secret. But I digress. Yeah. That's how I would have done CL's intro into America. I would have capitalized on the fact that she is Korean. I wouldn't have let her be, I'm just like the other black girls, except for I'm Korean. Instead of doing that, I'd be like, not only am I Korean, but I'm giving you some Korean flavor to go with the SoundCloud trap sound that y'all are doing as well. Because when you think about it, why is BTS as successful as they are in America? I can't say that I have all the answers. A good part of it is because they have penises, because girls love penises. But the other part of it is because they didn't try to change what is authentically them. And people liked that difference. So that is something that I think people forget, is that people like the difference. They're latching on to the difference. And so trying to make CL look like an African American rap person, but she happens to be Asian, but you're surrounding her with all these things that are stereotypical black pop culture references is dumb. Is dumb. That's why Hello Bitches, if Hello Bitches wasn't the one shot novelty video that it was, if it had shown CL sitting at a table having a mukbang with all these other fly ass Korean girls around her and they're doing really straight up awesome choreography in their handbox, that would have been fire. That would have been fire. And then throw off the handbox and then you've got on like the flyest clothes from Korean designers. People would have ate that up. So let's go back up here because I missed a lot of comments. Okay. So, let's see. Hello Bitches was like that. Man, I'm way far back. Okay. So, it says, oh, wow, I've skipped a lot. Okay. Someone said, my Papa YG can't do no wrong, and that is only Sungri's fault for YG getting this hate. That person was Delulu. You can't say Bomb bombed a recording when she comes out with Spring and sounds vocally stronger than she has in years. Yeah, have y'all seen the live stages? She sounds great, which for years YG's like something's wrong with her throat. That's why she's not getting the singing time, when really it was him co-opting Bomb's singing time to give CL more singing time. Facts. Yeah, what he did to Park Bomb wasn't right. She could have gotten her meds a better way, but she's not a bad person. I mean, look at MOB flopped because of how YG promoted it. Well, YG tried to promote MOB all on Bobby, when really it was Mino's Your Body that was the actual big hit out of both of the singles, and really should have been what the concentration was on. And that's why Fiance did so well as well, because people like Mino, whereas people kind of find Bobby annoying because he insists that his body is fly when he really looks like Chicken Little. Okay. She could have hurt herself and YG didn't get a damn. Exactly. In fact, I think he would have preferred if she had killed herself. And I'm not saying that because she should do it. I think that that's what YG kind of hoped would have happened to her, honestly. Well, we might need to discuss Lifted, since I know a lot of people my age who play that song at parties. Why? Who are you hanging out with that's playing Lifted? I agree, Lifted wasn't really that great. She should have released the All In song because that song was catchy and it sounded really good. Dr. Pepper was just ... no. And then Dr. Pepper, I like Lifted, Ella. Of course you like Lifted, Jade. So for those of you who haven't heard Dr. Pepper is CL, Major Lazer, Riff Raff, and the guy who did You Was Right, you guessed it. I can't think of his name right now, but he actually quit rapping because he has a flesh-eating disease that ate up part of his scalp and most of his face. I saw that online. That shit's scary as hell. Lifted isn't great, but yeah, it's not the single. All In the song, she should have released part of the video. 4 would have been better. Me Too Angels, Lifted did her no favors at all. LMAO, it's okay, Jade. Hello Bitches was like that female empowerment song, in my opinion. Method Man, do you mean Asher Roth? LOL, true, I can see that as a song that was around when I was a kid. Exactly, it was the baddest female all over again, but worse. When is your birthday, by the way? My birthday's in August. I'll be 40. Buy me presents. Paid to be there. I'm gonna do a video about the future of YG. You should. I'll watch it. Yeah, I hate YG just because how he promotes his artists. He placed a shit ton of blame and stuff on Park Bomb, what he's doing with CL, etc., etc. I agree. Solo felt like a Blackpink, not a Jennie song, where your very own color shone through. I agree. There's a lot of people who really liked Solo. And I'm not saying Solo's a bad song. To me, Solo felt empty. And I know it's because it had that really long whistle breakdown in the chorus. But yeah, Solo felt a little empty to me. But I mean, Jennie's fine. She's acceptable as a rapper and a singer. She's like a good all-purpose, but I don't know necessarily that I would prefer her solo first. I think we're all kind of waiting for Rose to give us her solo because she really is the one. I think I'm the one. No. Okay. I think I'm one of the few that doesn't like Solo, LOL. Actually, you're not. It's not that I don't like it. I just, nothing about that song sticks out to me except for the solo, lo, 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 lo. The rest of it does nothing for me. And Aquafina CL collab would be amazing. I don't like solo either, but it stuck in my head, sadly. Yeah, because of the la, 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 that part. Just like Jason Derulo's Swalla La La, that is a trash ass song. That is one of the worst songs ever recorded and released. But again, you remember that drink, Swalla La La. It's a stupid song. It's just, oh, it's infuriating. But Swalla La La, you can't forget it. Cardi B had a ghostwriter. We've already addressed that. I've never heard of Aquafina. Again, you should look her up. She is hilarious. It blows my mind that CL did not do a song with Bieber. Having a song with Bieber as a lead single would have put her name on the map. Absolutely. Or even like her being a feature for Justin Bieber would have been bananas. But, you know, can't think like that. Cardi B's ghostwriter. That would have been an interesting tactic for her to be on that soundtrack. What, she acknowledged it. We already talked about that. Have y'all seen the credits for her album, It's Long AF? Here's hoping for Crazy Rich Asians 2. I agree, because it is a 3-part book series, so we have to be getting a part 2. This is an opportunity for synergy. Synergy. Just the lyrics to Solo was like, okay, I might be reading this wrong. Dead. Haha. Jenny is to Blackpink like Suzy was to Miss A. She's the face of the group. Blackpink wouldn't be the same without her. And wasn't her solo the start of a series where all the members would get solos? Yes, according to YG, Jenny's solo was supposed to be part of all the members of Blackpink getting solos, which is why his announcement that Blackpink has a comeback coming out so soon is very odd, because initially the announcement was that all of the members of Blackpink were going to get solos one after the other. So are we still on task to have Rosé's solo, or did we just forget that plan because we need Blackpink to come out to divert attention away from the disaster that is Sungri right now? The difference / novelty. I keep telling you, Sam, we need to be managers because these companies are clueless. True, they didn't change who that are and were themselves in their music and even in interviews. I'm so excited for the sequel. LOL, I'm predicting BTS will be on the soundtrack. I think it would be smart. And they should do a song completely in Korean. Or if they want to try out their Mandarin, that'd be a great idea because Crazy Rich Asians does take place in China. But yeah, I don't think they should do an English song. I like their Wasted on Me song they did with Steve Aoki, but it doesn't have a lot of replay value in my opinion. It was supposed to be one of one. So far, Jenny is the only solo, even though Rosé released a cover. Minho getting his solo. Oh, I'm so excited about Minho getting his solo, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a cover of Baby Shark because he loves that damn song. True. Lies, screw YG. Minho's solo album is so good. Best thing that came from Winter. Yes. Mino's recent solo album with Fiance on it, it's the album is called XX, I believe. It's a fantastic album. Please check it out if you have time. I haven't bought it yet because it's kind of expensive. Like, even when you add shipping and everything, that thing is almost $30. And, you know, I've got some other $30 albums I have to buy, which that was the whole point of coming on here, to talk about what are people buying, but we will talk about that. But yeah, it is a great album. Definitely listen to it if you haven't listened to it yet. Ha ha ha. I looked up Aquafina and I'm not disappointed. Thank you. Shine Marie says, thank you. I'm so glad I'm not the only one who thinks that way about Bobby. LOL, Chicken Little. Bobby looks like Rufus from Kim Possible. That's funny. Brazil on the cut. Skur, what's up? Bobby reminds me of Bart Simpson. The Bobby slander is hurting my soul. LOL. What? I hope he's okay. It's hurting me as well. Hey, Bobby's my bias because I heard someone roast him with that Rufus line. I'll try to get a present for you, but I'm on disability with med bills, so we'll see. You don't have to buy me anything for my birthday. That was just a joke. I never expect anybody to do anything for my birthday because birthdays really are overrated. Everyone in this world has to be born in order to be alive, so why is my birthday so special? Seriously. Yes, solo felt empty as well, like there was no emotion in the song. I kind of want Lisa's solo. It'll be trash garbage, but I feel like I'll enjoy it. I know why Mason's going to enjoy Lisa's solo, because Mason loves a good thought anthem, and he's convinced that Lisa's going to give us Shiana vibes in terms of it's going to be like empty bubblegum rap that's going to be all about like choreography and just sounding like you've got like bubble gum wrapped around one finger and you've got your hair curling around the other finger. So that's Mason's style of rap. Mason's style of rap is like Valley Girl Thought. That is his style. CL My Little Pony OST iconic. Oh, that was trash. That was so trash. That's wrong. It was never said each solo one after the other. OIG even stated in February or January that Blackpink will have a group comeback first, then a Rose solo, and stated they already picked her song. You can't convince me Lisa will have a killer song. She's a decent rapper and a good dancer, so unless she has a killer feature to sing hook, it'll be garbage but fun. I didn't know Minho was getting a solo. I'm so excited now because he's my bias, as he is mine. Minho's album is so good. Mino's album is so good. I wasn't going to in K-pop. I was just wondering why you were thinking about that. Don't read me like that, Sam. Oh, you know it's true. Hi. Yes, it's a great way of putting it. Valley Girl Thought. I mean, it's true though. Like Hyena's aesthetic is Valley Girl Thought. Like she's like, my dad actually owns a finance company, but he paid for me to get into USC, and I'm not going because I have a Sephora sponsorship. So, time to shake ass. That is the Hyena aesthetic. Absolutely. And their concert soon as well. I heard that Blackpink's upcoming album will be another mini album. Lissai. CL might do an OST for Little Einsteins. Oh, you're roasting her so bad, David. You're so mean. But yeah, like seriously, at this point, how low can she go? My goodness, it's sad. It is really, really sad. But I think the positive out of this whole situation is the revenge comebacks have been amazing. Amazing. Like Epic High, since they left YG, their album and their song Love Drunk has been doing very, very well. Park Bomb solo has been doing very, very well. TS is on fire, and Bang Young-gook has had great pre-orders for his album. So that's very, very good to hear. I mean, it is just the time to go solo or to leave your bad relationships is now. If you're in K-pop and you're in a bad record label relationship, now is the time to free yourself. Do it now because people want to see you happy, and I want to see you happy. I ordered Bomb's album. It hasn't come in yet. It's not going to come in for a while because I ordered mine from Yes Asia, and I think they were backlogged, so they're not going to get their copies until the 21st, so I probably won't get my copy until April, but it's on its way. Let's see here. I hope YG is telling the truth this time about the solos because the back-to-back videos for their debut era never happened. I'm so happy for Bomb. Hearing Bomb's voice once again, was euphoric. Yes, MBK Pop. I think she's still in the top 5 from what I recently saw. I'm so glad she's doing well with this solo. Just ordered Bomb's album too. I ordered Bomb's album. I ordered Epic High's album. I ordered Bang Young-gook's album. And I ordered Tiffany's album because Tiffany's album is at Choice Music. So I ordered her album with Bang Young-gook's album. So I'm getting those together. And I haven't bought a BAP album in years. The last BAP album I bought, I actually got in a car accident listening to it, so that's why I quit buying their stuff. But because he's getting free, I wanted to support. Same thing with Epic High. I've never purchased an Epic High album in my life, and I really want Shoebox, and I really want to buy We've Done Something Great Here. Both of those albums I think would really be up my alley in terms of sound quality, but I never purchased them. But I want to because they're fantastic. And that is the reason why I went ahead and I bought their latest album because they need to see success after going from record label to record label. Let's see here. Just saw this. After closing in on 4,534 copies, Bomb Spring posts 2019's highest first day sales for a female soloist on Hanteo so far, surpassing Chungha with 1,592. Like, tripling that. That's great. Well, doubling, almost tripling. Whatever happened to him, Chan, though, not sure. So happy Dahyun from BAP is releasing a solo album. Yeah, I listened to some of the Shoebox a year or so ago and I really liked it. That's true. I don't know how the Scandal Editor went either. Dan is having a solo, yay. Yeah, everybody's doing solo stuff. I think Jade posted on Twitter that Zello came to Bang Young-gook's fan sign, which was beautiful. And then Dahyun is going solo. Somebody else from the group recently said he's starting his own company. Like, there's a lot. There's a lot going on there. But yeah, I just wish everybody the best. I'm willing to support everybody's first project when they leave their label. Now, you got to show me something good. I'm going to say that. If you don't show me something good, I'm not going to continue to buy your work. But if you give me something worth having, I'm always willing to buy that first project when you leave because you deserve. You know, I bought Minzy's first project when she left 2NE1, and that album, after being able to look at it, hindsight being 2020, no, it's not great. It's not great. But the song with Jay Park is really, really nice, and I'm glad I own it. And I'm glad I'm owned it for just statement's sake. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people leaving their record labels, and they need a start. They need a little boost that says, you know what, there's still an audience there, and I'm willing to give that boost to them, for sure. Let's see here. I want Song Jian to make a solo comeback. I want all the girls from Secret to have comebacks. Me to Euphoria, but Miro did say BAG going to come back this year. Even I, as a huge Blackjack, would be hesitant to buy Minzy's second album. You're right. The first one is rough. Yeah, that first one, not great. The mix on her last solo single, I forget what the name of the song is, but I think it's all in English. The mix on that song is terrible. It is so muddled. You cannot understand anything Minzy is saying, and it's so disappointing because she is so talented. But it is just not good production. And I don't know who that was for. But at the same time, I want the best for her. I really, really do. And maybe she's just confused or maybe she's just young, but I think under the right management, she can make something really beautiful happen. Nilo comeback ASAP. Actually, I wouldn't mind a Sean comeback. His song's not that bad. I hope Jungkook can get a solid team together for that Thought solo career he deserves. Minzy could do so much better. Definitely. I think Bomb having the support of Brave Brothers says a lot because it gives her the right step forward. Because Brave Brothers, if nothing else, they're going to protect their own reputation. And that is what's so perfect about her releasing music with them. Whereas Minzy, the producers for her album weren't notable producers. And I think that she would have done better hiring a notable producer to produce her album. That way people can be excited about it. So if she worked with Gray, because Gray's been doing a lot with independent artists. He did Jessie, he did Hyolyn. If she'd worked with Gray, that would have been a perfect collaboration for her because I really think that he could have done the best with her voice and made something happen for her. Oh, lots of comments. Are you looking forward to Hayes and Suran? Yes, I've already pre-ordered the new album. That shit is expensive. It is $30. And I ordered it from K-Pop Factory, so we'll see what happens. Sudan, I'm just waiting for a release date for her. That's all I'm waiting for. As soon as the release date comes out and I can pre-order that shit, it's on and popping. All of you say was the title from Minzy's song. I actually liked it, LOL. I couldn't understand it. I probably would have liked it if I could have understood it, but I couldn't hear her. And at first, because my mind was playing tricks on me, I'm like, well, they are filming near water. Maybe I'm hearing the water over the song, but then I realized, you ditzy bitch, you're not hearing no water. It's just that the mix is terrible and the vocals are buried under the actual backing track. But yeah, at first I'm like, maybe I'm hearing water. That song was supposed to be for her tour, from what I'm assuming, because she said that she wanted to release more music before she rescheduled it. Do you think you'll watch the next Produce? Absolutely, because I did not watch the first Produce, but I did watch the last season of Produce 48, and I had thoughts. Somi and YG debut. I don't know what the fuck made Somi's dad think that YG was the label to go to. You know, it's not. I will say this. You very rarely hear of a top celebrity who's known for music to go from one big three to another big three. That is something totally new. Like, I can't think of any other high profile musician to go from one big three to another big three. People have gone up from like one of the peripherals to a big three before. That has happened. But for her to go from JYP to YG, this is something totally new. And it almost feels like a break in etiquette. But if she was going to go to another big three, why the fuck would she pick YG? Why wouldn't you pick SM? But I mean, we'll see what happens. Her definitely her brand has taken a hit from her joining YG, because a lot of people dislike her now because she's been a little bit spiteful, a little whatever, but you know, it is what it is. Minzy needs her own Dolly, absolutely. I'd like Minzy to work with Dean. That would be great. I totally forgot that somebody was supposed to debut this month. I think it's not going to happen. Groovy Room would have been great for Minzy. Absolutely. If Groovy Room can take Hayes, who's not even really a singer, and turn her into like the nation's darling, think what he could have done for Minzy. She needs people like Gray, like you said. Suran is 22nd. I want a Yolan solo album this year. I'd buy that in a heartbeat. I would. I have bought every digital single that she's released so far, including the ballad that came out before Dolly. I bought them all. Give me a physical. I just want to give you money. I just want to help you out, girl. Just help me keep you in bleach and weave. That's all I want to do. I want to keep you in bleach, weave, and like little panties to go under your stage outfits. That's all I want to do for you. Okay. Yolan keeps posting photos of her working with some lit producers. I'm ready for her next album. Bruce 48 shudders. LOL. Talk about bad mixing. Did anyone else get annoyed at the footstep sound you hear in Bad Boy? Footstep sound in Bad Boy. I don't know. I don't even know what that sound is. I never noticed it. I really want AOA to come back as well. And is Jimin alright? Did she really lose weight? And I've been worried about her. I still need to buy a copy of It's Me before it's too late. You do, before it goes out of print. Any day now, because Starship's not going to be reissuing it. I always do, and I just wish it would have been edited out. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I find it annoying too. Are y'all talking about the video or the actual song? Because I can't say that in the actual song I hear that at all. I have no idea. No, she did, Kitty Cat. I don't know what's going on with her, but I hope she's okay because her company's noise situation. Yeah, Jimin has gotten really skinny, but I mean, I think Jimin's had some issues. I don't know what the deal is with her, but she cut up her face and became almost unrecognizable. And then she became really thin, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on with her. I don't know if she's just trying to change her look and maybe she felt self-conscious about herself. I don't know, but she looks like she needs some help. When you get to the chorus, you hear footsteps right when it starts. No, I'm running through the whole song and I have no idea what you're talking about. I heard rumors that AOA might disband. Could happen. Thank you. She's my ultimate AOA, and it scared me. I didn't think that was really her. Hot take. I enjoy the footstep. You'll hear it for sure if you listen to the instrumental because the vocals drone it out. I think that's what helps make the song interesting and unique. I don't hear it. I hear like the drum thing that goes up to the chorus. And I've heard the instrumental because I watched the Oh gosh, what's the name of the group? Ah, what is their name? It's not the Undertones. Oh crap, I can't even think of the name of the thing. But there is a video on YouTube, if you want to look it up, that shows the producers of Bad Boy deconstructing the song and remaking it and showing all of the different layers of the song. I do not recall a footstep layer. There's like a lot of synth layers to it, and they based it on like their favorite 90s kind of R&B sounds, but I do not recall a footstep layer being in that song. There's a very kind of like rippy synthesizer sound, but the footstep sound, I don't hear. I don't hear. No, I don't hear it. I can send you a video of the official instrumental from SM because it has it on there. The stereotypes. The stereotypes. I watched the video with the stereotypes building the beat. And like I said, I didn't hear the footstep part there. But it was a very interesting video to watch. I highly recommend it. I wish that I could see a video on London Noise building View. That would be amazing. But I don't think that that's going to happen anytime soon. That's my fave, but that's whatever. Speaking of lost causes, FX. I was scrolling through my timeline on Twitter. Not Twitter, YouTube. Yeah, I always go to YouTube to go to like the recommends. And when I was going through the recommends on YouTube, I saw a video for some rock group. I think their name is Fies or Phase. I have no idea. Anyway, Amber was a guest in the song. And in the video, Amber has on like a striped pencil skirt and a maroon kind of halter top and this blue wig. And I don't know why, but I found it extremely unsettling. And I don't mean that like Amber should never be feminine. It was one of these things where it's like, you look like a man dressed like a woman. And I've always said this, like, you know, we all know what it is with Amber. She can say what she wants to about, I'm just trying to be, you know, myself, and I'm not going to be pressured to be one thing or another, and that's why all the songs I release are genderless, because of whatever. She looked so awkward. Like, she looked like a bodybuilder in a prom dress. It was just the antithesis of her personal style. And I don't know if it's because it was a bad wig, because it was a pretty awful wig. Like, her hair is blue right now, and they picked a blue wig, but it was like a wiggy wig, so it didn't like blend. And then they tried to do some lipstick that just really wasn't that flattering for her face. And then like the maroon halter top with the pencil skirt did not match. So it was like, okay, y'all didn't even pick an outfit that works for her body. But I know that they were doing that on purpose to make her look uncomfortable or make it like it doesn't fit her. But I mean, I feel like there's a way to feminize Amber and make it look like Amber still. Even if it was like Amber with a little bit longer hair and maybe a little bit bolder lip. Same clothes, but just hair's a little bit longer, bolder lip. That's all I'm saying. Amber's been giving us nude lip for years. So, you know, Amber in like a vampire blood red would be really cute right now. Just saying. Just saying. See. Do you think Baco from New East and Zion T would be a good collab? Sure, why not? I think that you'd be surprised, like when people get taken out of their element, what they can do. I remember when, I believe it was Infinite H, they did the collab with Zion T, and that came out really well, so why not? I heard Four Walls was supposed to go to Shiny and View to FX. I still want to hear those versions. I would too. I've heard that several times, but it'd be nice to hear. Mamamoo new song, Go Go Baby. The song's annoying. I don't like it. I haven't heard the album yet, but I don't like the song. But I am happy because I think this is the last Mamamoo album that's going to have that hard to get the CD out packaging, and they're going to start a new packaging cycle. That would be amazing. That would be really, really nice. Just saying. The album is great. Sam Williams solo is great. I don't know. I mean, like I said, the song, the title song, I don't want anything to do with it. The video is cute though. The video is very entertaining, but the song just is boring. I don't know who chose that song title. It's just, it must be more fun in Korean. Like, I'm not saying that to be biased. I'm just saying it must be more fun if you're Korean. Like, at a house party, that shit must slap. The album songs sound really good, but the single isn't that great compared to the rest of the tracks. Yeah! And I feel like it's weird that this single is not good because I feel like the singles from the last couple albums have been very nice and have given a lot of positive attention to Mamamoo. So this feels like a step back for me for sure. But Mamamoo is one of those groups that like they really like to switch up their style. So the last single is never indicative of what the next single is going to be. There was a period in time there when they were doing Ah Ah Yeah and You're the Best, where they definitely had a more defined style to them and you kind of knew what to expect. But then after that, things just went all over the place. And so now I'm just like, whatever y'all decide to come out with, we'll just hear it when it comes out. It just is what it is. But yeah, I would like to see something else. You know, I know you miss that style, but you know, people can't stay in one place because when they stay in one place, that's when they lose their popularity. Speaking of popularity, and I'm not saying this like they're losing it, but I just want to know, where's GFriend? I feel like it's been a while since I've heard from GFriend. Not that I really keep up with GFriend like that, but I feel like they release stuff on a fairly consistent basis, and I feel like it's been very quiet for GFriend recently. They probably have a comeback coming in the next month or so, and that's the reason why it feels so quiet. But didn't their new album come out like last year? I swear that their last comeback was, it was in January. It feels like it was a long time ago. We're in March now. It feels a lot longer ago. Maybe it's just because the song didn't do very well. Are you saying that the Japanese comeback came out in January? Are we talking? Did the Korean comeback come out in January? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, well, you know, I think that GFriend definitely falls under that, you know, things sounding too much alike and people not really digging the sound anymore. I don't know. It's got to be their second album because LOL was their first album, right? I'm right about that, right? Oh, man. Yeah, well, whatever they came out with in January, I don't think I ever heard it at all. I don't think I heard it. I don't think I heard anybody talking about it. I don't even know if anybody did an unboxing for it. I feel like it did this number. I worry for Miss Yuju from GFriend. She disappeared from the group for like a month, and Somu Entertainment never explained why. When she came back, she looked super sickly. It was weird. Yeah. It's funny, like, I want to say it must have been possibly 3 or 4 years ago. 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, 3 or 4 years ago. I did a week of unboxings. I had ordered a whole bunch of signed albums. We're back. I unboxed GFriend, CLC, Oh My Girl, and 2 p.m. And I want to say it was like the week of my birthday or something, but it's been a long time ago. But it was the debut of Oh My Girl, the debut of GFriend, the debut of CLC. Oh, and the debut of Sunamu. I remember that week very, very well. And they all came out like in the same year. They didn't all come out in the same week, but they came out in the same year. And M-Wave did signings for them, and I bought all those debuts. And I remember when I did all the unboxings for those, I said Sunamu was not going to last. I said I didn't think CLC was going to last. And I saw it for Oh My Girl, and I saw it for GFriend. And for a while there, I was actually right on because Oh My Girl did really well after their debut, Cupid. And Cupid is a great song. People never talk about how good Cupid is, but Cupid was a fantastic song. GFriend really started to take up, and they did very well for a while. CLC was drowning. Senamu, them girls all have part-time jobs at cafes and host clubs. And I don't say that to say that they're trash. I'm just saying that, like, they're working for a living because they're not making money as entertainers. But yeah, like, for a while there, it was good. I had no idea that here we are, 2019, and out of all of them, it seems like CLC is the one with the most buzz. I find that really a surprising turn of events. Thank you. Cupid is an underrated gem. Sonamu's debut was so bad. Sonamu's debut was bad because it made no damn sense. Like, I bought the regular version of Sonamu's debut album. I ended up selling it later on. But the inside, it was all like soft pictures and flowers and beautiful and everything else. The sound was like something that was supposed to be totally hard. It was like, what is this? You're supposed to be the female BAP, but then you've got the interior pictures that look like this. None of this works. And they never did have anything that really worked. Cupid was amazing, but then again, their songs have anyways been so good, and I wish Sonamu would get more popular. Man, Sonamu really hasn't done much that's worth listening to. Yeah, No is a bop. I love Oh My Girl Step by Step. Yeah, that Cupid marching band sounds still my fave. I agree. Cupid was such a great song. Like, a lot, you know what we don't do a lot? Oh My Girl and G-Friend do well, okay, in Korea. CLC have international hype, but not in Korea. I agree. I think that we don't talk a lot about, like, the the song that turned the tide. I think everybody kind of feels like they know which song really turned the tide. And for some groups, it's very obvious what that song is. But like for some of these other groups that like are medium range groups, like what is the song that turned the tide? And you know, why do we not acknowledge these songs more? Like Cupid is an outstanding song. I think that most people, if they think about their favorite songs for Oh My Girl, they go to the very beginning of the catalog and they think about Closer or Windy Day, or in my case, probably my favorite Oh My Girl song is Liar Liar. I just love that freaking song. I think it's so good. Liar, 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 liar. I just think that's so cute because it sounds like a schoolyard taunt, and it totally matches the song and the video. Like I love Liar Liar. I just want to know what happened with Got 7. I think hard carry. Hard carry is what happened to Got 7. Okay, so when Got 7 first debuted with Girls, Girls, I hated that song. I thought that song was trash. It sounded so much like a rejected 2 p.m. song to me because it sounded so much like something that JYP would produce himself. I was not feeling it. And then after, thank you, I've been working on my singing voice. After that, they came out with A. I thought that A was a great little cute something or other, and I thought it was a good change of pace. After A, I think is when they did Hajima. Nobody liked that song, which was crazy because I love Stop It. Hajima, Hajima, Hajima. I thought that was so good. And then back to back bops. Just Right, fantastic single. If You Do, fantastic single. And then right after that, Fly, fantastic. Everything was going up for Got 7. And then Hard Carry was a hard pass. It was like, boo, get that shit out. Get out of here. And it's just amazing to me how like one song just turned the tide on that group. Like nothing they released after that made up for it. It was so crazy. Like, you know, everyone has a bad day. But it's just like, I don't know if they lost their mojo or if people like were offended by Hard Carry. But man, like they just couldn't walk it back. They just could not walk it back. And the Present album is actually a really good album. Like check it out. It's actually very nice. But no, nothing worked. Even the little, excuse me, I'm burping. Even the little Christmas song, I Love You, that was a really cute song. But no, nothing was able to walk that back. And then like Jackson was supposed to have a solo recently, and he postponed that because he wanted to do some more music. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. And is it teenage or teenager? That's a cute song. It just didn't work. I think Hard Carry was just such a failure that it tanked everything. And it sucks for them. It sucks for them. But low key, quiet as it is kept, I think that Monsta X is about to travel the same route. Monsta X has really good B-sides. Like, if you listen to their albums, you listen to their B-sides, Monsta X has really good B-sides. Lately, their title songs have not been doing it for me. I didn't like Dramarama. I didn't like Dramarama. A lot of people did. It was their first win, I believe. But since then, I haven't been able to connect to Monsta X. I still enjoy looking at Wano's crotch just like the rest of us. His crotch and his butt are always going to be a win. But Alligator, no. No. And I just think that I don't know if it's because there's so much self-production. I don't know what the problem is, but there was a lot of promise with Monsta X. Like, their very first album, I wasn't so sure about until I heard the B-sides. The second release, I really liked the B-sides. The third release, I really love the B-sides. And I love the singles for the Clan, but I just feel like I don't know what it is, but something happened with Monsta X, and I feel like now they're one of those groups that like international fans love, and we still support them, and you know, they've got a strong fan base, but there's no growth in terms of growing the fan base, growing the sound, the maturity of the group. I feel like they're stuck, and I feel like they've been doing kind of the same thing for the last couple of years, and I want to love them the way I did when the Clan came out, but it's just, I'm never in a hurry to buy their music. I'm never in a hurry to buy their music. I feel like I can buy it anytime I want to because it will always be available, because they're never going to sell out, because they're just doing the same thing over and over again. I mean, if that's what you say, I mean, if you really feel like Alligator has been growing the fan base, that's fine, but I don't see it. I don't see it. I feel like I feel like the people who talk about Monsta X are the same people who have always talked about Monsta X. I don't feel like new people are talking about Monsta X. And the people who used to talk about Monsta X, I feel like there's less and less of those people still talking about Monsta X. But if you say they're growing in Korea, then maybe that's the reason why Alligator's not a song for me, because it's really made to cater to the Korean public. Let's see here. Go back. Never Ever was such a disappointment because I love the teaser part with Yugim that Yugim did. There's a weird time where in the boy groups that were the most popular among international fans was like EXO, BTS, and GOT7, and kind of Monsta X and 17. But now the times have changed so much. Absolutely, times have changed. I wasn't disappointed in that. I have tried to get into Monsta X, but it's just not clicking. I understand, Rosario. Ian Fleming. When Alligator came out, I was disappointed because I was like, damn, this is not going to move the needle for them. That's interesting, as Monsta X is doing better and better in Korea with each song. I have loved them since debut, but especially since Beautiful, but I wasn't into Alligator. I like Monsta X a lot, but I still don't have the new album because Alligator was so forgettable for me. I see what you're saying. I saw it when Fighter came out, a song I also disliked. Totally disagree in growing the fan base. They've been doing the best they've ever with Alligator. Trespass was a good song too. I really like Monsta X, but then Fighter came out and ruined them for me. They're growing going in Korea. There's really interesting stuff going on in the B-sides, and I hope we get more of that. That's for sure. Alligator charted for a few weeks on Melon, first time ever for them. Yo, Stray Kids is about to come out with some fire soon. I think they had huge growth of only winning once, then jumped to 4 times in, I think, shootout era, but they stuck with the same amount with Alligator instead of growing. Everyone loves Stray Kids, but I can't get into them. I've been bored with Monsta X. Anyone think Alligator is too staccato to originally be a Korean track? I believe that it may have started out as a Japanese track since it fits the language structure more to me. Could be, could be. And there are songs that have, I feel like a lot of music from groups are getting repetitive. I agree. I feel like Dramarama, if you were to mash up Dramarama and Alligator, they would sound not that mashed up. Like, I feel like they have a very similar strong song structure. But somebody, I just read the comment and somebody said Stray Kids. Stray Kids is the group I can't get into. I bought a Stray Kids album because I heard a song that I really liked and I'm like, you know what, it's JYP, and most of the time I can really get with JYP, and this is a group doing something different for JYP, and I know a lot of people have really come to love Stray Kids, but I don't know, the subsequent singles and album just haven't done it for me. And I want to love Stray Kids. I really and truly do, because I feel like they are a hopeful future for JYP, but I haven't been able to keep going with them. There's nothing about them that I find interesting. The videos are boring, man. Like, let's just be honest. The videos are really boring. They've got to do something to make these videos worth watching. So I can't do it with Stray Kids, and I really wish I could. I really wish I could. Same thing with ITZY. ITZY is doing gangbusters in Korea, and a lot of international fans really like ITZY. I thought that Dala Dala was forgettable. Like, I'm even thinking about it now. I can't even remember the song structure for Dala Dala. No, I can't. My mind is running a blank. I remember what the video looks like. The video looked a lot like CLC's No, but it's not my thing, man. It's not my thing. But I wish them the best. I wish them the best, because we need new music in order for the genre to grow. I'm really curious about these new groups that JYP is going to release, because I feel like most of the new groups are going to be forgettable to me. OMG Dala Dala is not good in my opinion. I must not have liked it either, because I totally forgot about it. I don't know what the future holds when it comes to JYP. Thoughts on Crown TXT? I actually talked about them in a previous video, but I said that they are not for me. TXT is not for me. And that's all I can say. I don't have anything bad to say about TXT. And it's not because I'm scared of fans or anything, because I'm a grown woman. Bite me. It's because I really and truly don't feel like I'm qualified to talk about groups that aren't for me. Like, there's some groups that I never talk about on my channel because they're absolutely not for me. And so it doesn't even cross my mind to talk about them, because they have nothing to do with my life or my preferences. And I think that's okay, because not everybody is for you, you know? Their song was good and their dance for Crown was amazing, but I hope they changed their concept. I mean, I don't know what their concept is. I'm assuming their concept is Flower Boy. Is that the concept? Am I right? It's not for me. It is not for me. And I wish them luck, because Big Hit needs a backup plan for BTS, because it's not good for either party to be totally reliant on the other. Oh, and NCT 127 are too experimental for me, even though I love them. Limitless and this new Japanese track, Wakey Wakey, work for me, and a lot of their other titles sound like Noise, Cough Cough, Chain. I don't think I've even heard Chain, to be honest with you. Gotta start getting ready for bed. This was a fun live. I hope you keep it up. Yeah, I'm assuming that TXT is going to be the opposite of BTS concept-wise. Wakey Wakey was a no-no. This one was, but I don't know if they have a general concept or if they will change song to song. I have no idea either. BTS isn't for me, but I find TXT so endearing. I'm just weak to the cute choreo. And I think that that goes to show that there is a niche for everybody. And that's why it's so disheartening when people talk crazy about somebody's group and be like, oh, they're flop this, they're flop that. I mean, if you're talking about charts, then yeah, if somebody's album flops, then that's a fact. But in terms of like when the songs first come out, before they really had a chance to make their mark on the charts or anything else, for people to call stuff flop because it's not their style, that's not really fair. Because if we all like the same thing, the world would be boring. But some of us really like a hard concept. Some of us like a dark concept. Some of us like a cute concept. Some of us like a quirky concept. We all have different things that we naturally gravitate to that ring our bells. And because of that, it's not normal to expect everybody to like one thing. But at the same time, I think you are allowed to express your displeasure if something is just like really annoying to you. I think that's fair. But I don't think it's fair to criticize something just because it's not your style. You know, and that's the reason why I veer away from really critiquing TXT too much. It's not my style. Like straight up and down, it's just not my style. And so I can't even begin to say whether it's good or bad for the genre it's supposed to represent because it's not a genre that I particularly keen to. To me, Crown sounds like a Chainsmokers song. And I'm not a fan of the Chainsmokers. My daughter could tell you I'm not a fan. And so to me, Crown is not for me because it represents a style of music that is not for me. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that because there are people who love the Chainsmokers and this is going to be great for them. NCT 27, Simon says, was also nice to me. NCT 127 is another one. I'm one of the few people, I really liked Limitless. I really liked Sixth Sense. I really liked Fire Truck. Like, I really liked those songs. But the later songs, Regular and Wiki Wiki and some of this other newer stuff from NCT hadn't been my bag. And that's okay because everybody has their likes and their dislikes. Just like me and Jade. Jade likes Why So Serious. I think Why So Serious is trash. And SHINee is my bias group. So it just goes to show not everything is for everyone. And that's all right. It's okay. It doesn't have to be for everybody. As long as it finds an audience, that's the best you can hope for. Yeah, I'm always going to bring that up because you trash taste, Jade. Limitless is still their best track. I can't believe you don't hear Chainsmokers in that song. Like, show of hands, does anybody else hear Chainsmokers when they hear Crown? Am I the only one who hears Chainsmokers when I hear Crown? Oh, this is the best. I'm dead. Just check and see. I guess I'm the only one who hears Chainsmokers, but I totally hear Chainsmokers. I've never listened to Chainsmokers, so I don't know. Okay, no. Okay, Miranda, are you serious? You've never heard a Chainsmokers song? Or do you just not know that you've heard a Chainsmokers song? Because Chainsmokers did Best of Me for BTS. They did that stupid Halsey song that So Baby Pull Me Closer. Da, 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 da. I'm sorry. I know I just got through saying that everything is for everybody, and then I called that song stupid, but there's a reason for that. The song was on the radio 24/7 for a year, and it became stupid because it was on the radio way too many times. I don't even remember what a Chainsmokers sounds like, LOL. They dominate top 40. Yes, they did that song and that We Were Walking in Paris, and your parents didn't like it because we were together and they just don't want us to be happy. I don't know, Chainsmokers. But yeah, I don't like Chainsmokers. I do not like them. I do not like Green Eggs and Ham. I do not like them. And Sam, I actually am. I heard Best of Me, but that is as far as I know. I'm all over the place. Concepts, LO, it's pretty sad. 17's Don't Want to Cry was influenced by Chainsmokers. Okay, so see, it's a sound. It is a sound. I don't know. And they did that Coldplay song too. What's the song they did with Coldplay? It sounds a lot like Crown as well. When you think about it, it really does feel like a Chainsmokers produced song. Me too, Kikat. Yeah, so listen to a couple of the big hits by Chainsmokers and then listen to Crown, and there is a huge similarity. Especially that like in between the chorus and verse sound, that do 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 do. That is a very Chainsmoker footprint. And Chainsmokers aren't for me. So that's why Crown is not necessarily for me. And there's no big deal. Like, Best of Me, I like BTS a lot. Y'all know I do. I don't like that song. I don't like that song because I do not like the footprint of the Chainsmokers. They do this thing where they do this like instrumental break between the chorus and the verse, and it bothers me. Now, I definitely get the Chainsmokers sound from the 17 song, but I don't really hear it from Crown. Now, Chainsmokers are trying to leech off of 5 Seconds of Summer's LOL. Something Just Like This is a song I think, yeah, I want something just like this. Da-na, da-na-na, da, da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na. That gap between the chorus and the verse where it's just like an instrumental synthesizer breakdown, I don't like that. I don't like that. I find that to be a little annoying. Yeah. Oh, I need to see if anybody who's my mutual wants to share a hotel room in New York or New Jersey for the stadium tour for BTS, because I did finally get a ticket. I was debating about whether or not I wanted to get a ticket for BTS the stadium tour. But because I'm not going to the Korean Times Music Festival because the lineup is lame, I decided I would go ahead and go to the New Jersey show on the 19th. But I don't know which of my mutuals are going to that show from out of town and if any of them want to split the cost on a hotel room. So I need to figure that out because I'm really nervous about going to New York. I've never been. And so I don't know. I'm scared. I love Why So Serious. It made me love Shiny. I barely listen to Chainsmokers, so I have no idea. Me too, but for me it was Amigo, but I love Why So Serious. Oh gosh. Why So Serious has got to be the most divisive song in all of Shiny's existence. Like, there are people who love Why So Serious, and there are people who cannot stand Why So Serious. And because of that, there's like just this, you're in one camp or the other. Most of us agree that Wolf Wolf is trash. Most of us can agree on that. But when it comes to Why So Serious, it is just like, people just, the family is divided. The family is divided. It's like that uncle who likes to let the kids drink from his beer can, and you're like, quit trying to corrupt the kids, but then the kids are like, that uncle's so cool. And it's just like, I'm the bad parent. I'm just like, quit trying to corrupt the kids. And the kids are like, but uncle's so cool. I have a lot of reasons why I hate Why So Serious. Number one, I don't like Why So Serious because it reminds me too much of like a rock opera, which is my least favorite genre of musical. And number two, Jongin was not in the video because he was hurt at the time, and that pisses me off still to this day. So, yeah, I don't like Why So Serious. It's not my bag. Okay. I barely listen to Chainsmokers. Me too. Mingo. You Made Me Fall for Shiny. I saw Key in that green hair, and that was it. Oh, that's a great song to fall for Shiny for. What's the lineup for the Korean Times Festival thingy? I think it's like A-Pink, SF9, Lovelies, somebody else that I don't really know about. It was just not as good as last year. Last year was phenomenal. Last year had NCT and Red Velvet. Like, that's a huge height to fall from. So, there you go. Did you want me to pick you up from JFK? I don't know, because I'm trying to debate whether or not I want to come in on Saturday and then spend the night. That way I can get up early and go for merch. Or if I want to try to come in Wednesday or Sunday morning and go. So until I have that settled, I don't know. I have to figure that out. I feel like I love a lot of songs that have future-based influence, like some of Taemin's stuff, but I don't care for the Chainsmokers music. Wonder why that is. Because Chainsmokers music is not very creative. maybe it sounds too much alike. Hello is such a good song. Hello is a fantastic song. It was one of my favorite Shiny songs for a really long time. I still love this song, but now my favorite Shiny song of all time is Hold You. Just FYI. Um, I just mainly love the vocals of Why So Serious. To me, Why So Serious is a very obnoxious sounding song. LOL. Thank you. Thank you, Shine Baby Muse. Someone's on my side. Also, Evil by Shiny is my all-time favorite song. That's a great song. Why So Serious like EXO's Wolf? I think Shiny's Wolf Wolf is more like EXO's Wolf. Number one, because they're both dog themed songs or canine themed songs, but also because Wolf Wolf just really is a song that you have to question why. SMY. Mama's EXO's Mom was underrated. What's So Serious is a song that's really made by the live performances, but yeah, if you hate rock opera, it's unlistenable. Thank you. Uh, yeah, you can say that. Why So Serious Promotions was a mess, and they had a ton of songs on that mini album to pick as a title track, and they picked that one right. Right. I think Medusa was a much stronger song, but I'm not going to pick these songs. I didn't like Mama, True Dramatic. If I had to choose between Mama and Wolf, I would choose Mama because at least Mama has a little bit more going for it in terms of like melody, but Wolf, I'm a wolf, nigga, wolf. Oh, yo. Oh my gosh, no, 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 no. I prefer Mama. Let us all be clear. The best EXO songs, top 4. Growl, Overdose, Call Me Baby, Monster. Top 4. Sometimes they battle for number 1, but those are top 4. I used to listen to metal and rock until my middle school year of high school, so I think that's why I loved it. Okay, well, see, that makes sense. I wish I was lying when I said that Wolf Wolf is what got me into Shiny. Oh, no! How did that song get you into Shiny? Oh my gosh, you poor thing, you. I feel like merch line going to be crazy because at Stadium Tour, I really need to get there early. I agree. I actually really like Shiny's Juliet, even if the remake of Corbin Blues Deal With It, LOL. That's what makes that song pop. Every time I hear that song, I always sing the English lyrics. If you don't know, then you have got to deal with it. I ain't telling you no lies, just deal with it. Tell me why you roll your eyes. That song. Oh, so good. History, in all honesty, is the worst EXO title track. At least Wolf is memorable and left an impression. No, History was good. It had the shaking pants dance. The shaking pants. Oh, so good. Let's see. I would have loved to have seen Shiny promote Dangerous or Nightmare during that album promo. That would have been fire. Of course, Mama is greater than Wolf all day, even if I dislike both. I agree with your top 4. Wolf Wolf is a mess, but I love the live performances of it because it's so cute. Well, it is a decent live performance, but it is a terrible song just for listening purposes. I've never listened to Shiny, and Wolf Wolf was my first Shiny song. My friend made me listen, and it was so different. I was like, who are these guys? Well, I guess just for, pure curiosity, I'm glad that at least made you want to find out more. I kind of like obnoxious sounding songs, LOL. Do as well. I will fight people about that song. That is my favorite old school EXO song. History is a great song. It's a great song, but not superior to What Is Love. What Is Love is the song that made me want to check out EXO. That whole dun 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 dun, and then like the vocal battle between Baekhyun and Dio at the end of that song. I don't know why. Oh, love that part. Ugh. And then when Dio and the songwriter did What Is Love Part 2 for SM Station, I own that. I own that. It's so good. It's so good. Key saying, where are the treats still upsets me. History is good. What are you talking about? I can see it being at worst generic, but it still slaps. Hey Baby, MV, and it's a bop. What Is Love invented sad cow music. What Is Love is my favorite EXO song. I noticed the tree post from EXO, Wolf and Taemin's song Eclipse. For EXO song, B-sides like El Dorado, Heaven, With You, Been Through, stand out to me. Those are good songs. I tend to gravitate towards EXO's ballads when it comes to B-sides, actually. My favorite songs I love The Answer. That's probably my favorite EXO B-side of all time. The answer is you, you. My answer is you. Oh, I love that song so much. And the stages for it are so pretty. It's a Suho, Dio, Baekhyun, and Chen all like with their backs to each other, and there's like flowers falling from the sky. Oh, so great. It's so great. If you've never listened, it's such a wonderful song. History just reminds me of that Rihanna now. Unpopular opinion, I'm not big on What Is Love or El Dorado. Damn right is an unpopular opinion. I mean, either one or the other. If you like What Is Love, you have El Dorado, but to not like both, come on. Yes, I didn't get into EXO for the longest time because nothing was as good as What Is Love. Top sides: Thunder, Black Pearl, Machine, 365, Run. Ooh, 365 and Run. Yes, you love the answer. The answer to. Yes, I agree. They are my top for EXO. El Dorado is fine to me. I don't usually listen to it, but most EXO Ls are obsessed. LMAO, I love that meme. For Life, the English version. That's a good song too. Speaking of EXO, are you excited for Chen's solo? Okay, so anybody who's been watching my channel for a long time, you know Chen is my least favorite member of EXO. I love his singing voice. Don't get me wrong. I'm never going to be one of those people who's going to deny folks their talent. Chen is one of the best vocalists in EXO, like top three. Top three, of course, are Baekhyun, and then it's Chen, and then number one is Dio. But I hate Chen's face. And I don't know why. It is a thing I cannot even control. When I see his face, I just want to shove him away. And so I'm excited for his solo because I'm excited for music. I'm not excited for his solo because who wants an entire booklet of his face? But that's just me and my personal bias. It has nothing to do with him. He seems like an okay person, but I just do not like his face. Don't know what to do about it. I'm not calling him ugly. I just don't like his face. Something about his face just makes me feel like he's not worth trusting. I knew Chen would do a bunch of ballads, but I hope Brie. Chen and Dio are my least faves, but they are top two of the top three most fave voices. Exactly. But Dio is my bias, so I love my grandmother Chen. People are gonna go camping for the stadium just for the merch. There's something fun on there. Let's see here. I love Universe so much. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. Chen, like I said, he's super talented. I would never ever. His face is just not likable. Sorry, no offense, Sam. But Dio, on the other hand, he is cootie patootie. I love that little boy so much. And it's funny because, like, I feel like he is the one who is the most fed up with being an EXO. Like, every time I see them with their interviews or anything else, I feel like Dio is just cannot stand being an EXO anymore, and he is ready to leave. He's like, is there any drama you can put me in? Does anyone have a movie to cast me in? Does anybody have a job for me, which means that I cannot be in the comeback because I do not want to be here. Like, that's how I feel about Dio every time I see him with the group. But at the same time, I feel like if he wasn't an EXO, he wouldn't sing. Like, I'm not surprised that it's Chen who got the first solo, because I figured it'd either be Chen or Baekhyun because Dio doesn't want to do a solo. I think that he's just like, put me in a movie. My knees hurt. So, I'm not surprised. No offense. Haha, I feel the opposite. I love Chen's smug cat face, but I can't trust him. That's why I don't like his face, because he looks untrustworthy. I'm on the fence about Chen because of the Kunta Kinte comments. I heard about that. The answer made me cry when I first heard it, lol. Yeah, I think Dio just wants to be an actor. He looks like he's always trying to escape. I could see Dio going either way, to be honest, stay or go. Like, when the rumor came out that Dio wasn't going to re-sign with EXO, the reason I thought that was real is because he seems like the type who would leave. Exactly. Like he seemed like I really could do without this whole singing thing. I don't need to have this. You know, I got face, I got talent, I got skills. I ain't gotta sing for my supper. I could just give you these acting chops. And so I wouldn't have been surprised. And I was hurt for a second because I'm like, damn, he's my favorite in EXO, so that's really gonna suck for me. But at the same time, like, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, and you know, SM is not the prize that people think it is. So if you need to go, I totally agree. That one version of What Is Love, where he completely improvised, sings "Play Another Slow Jam," "This Is My Property," took me somewhere. His poor face. Oh yeah, everyone. Uh, even Yishin resigned, but D. Yeah, like, you know, if Dio decides not to resign with SM, or if he makes it to where in his contract he has a devoted amount of time for acting, I totally would understand it. The rumor brought up the same emotions from when Jessica left SM. Dio running for the hills makes total sense. I agree. I don't think that he needs EXO. And I don't say that, again, EXOs, don't kill me on this. I'm not saying that because EXO is a hindrance to him or anything like that. Dio has done enough outside of EXO for him to have a reputation that doesn't rely on his musical career. So he doesn't, at this point in his professional life, need EXO in order to have a job, because people have given him extremely favorable reviews for his acting. That's what I'm saying. I still think that him being a part of EXO is a benefit for him. Absolutely. I think that EXO would not sound the same without him. I think that he is a great addition to the group. But again, he has been working his ass off when it comes to dramas, and he's really made a name for himself. His dramas get good ratings, his movies make good sales. Like, there's a lot going for him, and it's hard to say that it's because he's a member of EXO, because people have said, like, they were surprised how good he was even though he is a member of EXO. You know, the reviews that Suho has gotten for dramas, not the same thing. I tried to watch Suho's Rich Man Poor Woman. I think I got maybe 3 episodes in, and I just had to give it up. I couldn't proceed anymore. It was too awful. But Dio, I could watch that boy's face all day long. Dio doing the fan chants for Tempo was the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. Um, Honestly, I think I would think that the first person to be completely done with SM singing issue would be Dio amongst all of them. Absolutely. And it's ironic that he would be the one that would be the most done with the music side of things, when to me, he's one of the best with the music. Like, his voice is just so unique to me. I love his voice. You know, like, if there was someone who I feel like would never leave EXO, it's Bicken. I don't feel like he would leave EXO unless they promise to promote him solo like the way they promote Taemin, because I feel like the music is his thing. Like, for Bicken, I feel like the music is absolutely his thing. Whereas with Dio, I feel like the music is a lovely aside to an acting career, honestly. You know, and then the other people like Kai, I don't know what Kai would do without EXO. Like, he needs EXO as well, because what would he do? He doesn't seem like he would go into acting. That doesn't seem like that's where he'd be. So we'll see. We'll see. So we've been on live now for 2.5 hours. What time is it where I'm at? Oh gosh, it is 11:39 p.m. Um, Kai is supposed to get a solo. A solo what? A solo dancing gig with the Korean ballet? Because it can't be a solo song. It would be sad if he stopped singing. That voice needs to keep going for a long time. I remember years ago there were rumors that Kai would be getting a solo. Again, a solo what? I would give all my money to Dio Company if he left. I mean, I don't think that Dio would ever completely leave off singing a solo song, but who would sing? Exactly. A solo what? Is he getting a solo clothing line? Is he getting a solo abs workout video? Like, what solo is Kai getting? I don't understand this at all. oh, this is like a solo instrumental song, and when you buy the album, it's just like a DVD of him dancing. A solo rap song, giving Kai a solo rap song is like giving Minho a solo rap song. What for? Like, I love Minho from SHINee. Lord knows I do. But that man does not need to have a solo rap song. Minho will be singing on his solo song. Let's get all that out the way. Minho will be singing his solo song. I can't believe SM didn't try to capitalize on the Tay Kai subunit. I'm surprised they didn't either. Girl, you know SM's gonna try it no matter how ridiculous it sounds. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Poor Kai. I actually really like his vocal parts in EXO songs. Well, then we need W. I'm just saying, like, Minho would just dibby dibby all over the track. Now, don't get me wrong. There have been a couple of rap moments for Minho that have been impressive. I cannot name them right now because my memory doesn't go that far back. But there have been moments where Minho rapping has not been a complete disaster. Actually, his rap on Don't Let Me Go is very nice. But I'm just saying, a rap solo? No. I have not watched Leaving Neverland because I actually don't own a television. Jade can co-sign on that, so I don't watch a lot of TV. But yeah, like Minho solo rapping. Well, then we need a spoken word interpretive dance Minho Kai subunit. Absolutely. Or like I said, an abs workout video. You know how they used to have like what is it, 90, what is the name of that? P90X, where it's like 90 minutes of like extreme working out. Give us a P90X with Kai and Minho. I would do it. I would do it. Like in a heartbeat. I'd buy it. Sight unseen. It's like, it's going to be 90 minutes of shirtless Kai and Minho competing to see who can work out the hardest. I am there. I am there. Speaking of Minho, did you guys hear? Minho, he's getting ready to enlist, but he hasn't enlisted yet because he's waiting to see whether or not he's going to be accepted into the Marines. My baby's going to try to be a Marine. I mean, I'm not surprised because he's a high achiever. He always tries his hardest. He always goes for the hardest level. But yes, my baby's trying to be a Marine. Mama's so proud. Mama's so proud. Okay, last comments. I was kind of off with CBX, honestly. It's 2 a.m. where I am. I'm so sorry. I'm getting off soon. I want another Kai Taemin collab. Maybe one day. We'll see. I mean, Taemin's pretty decent on his own right now. He gets little features here and there, but for the most part, he's doing his own thing, and I get it. I think that what Taemin's going for is, I don't want to say Korean Michael Jackson. I feel like that's not fair. But I do feel like Taemin is really trying to go for, like, I am Taemin. Not Taemin of SHINee necessarily. I'm just Taemin. I don't think that he'll ever be able to divorce himself from SHINee just because that is where he learned to be the person he is now. Like, vocal-wise, he studied under the best. But I do think that he is very, very purposeful with the way that he releases music. And he is curating a legacy for himself that will far outlast any group activities. And because of that, I don't think that he's interested in forming a subunit with Kai or doing anything else like that, because he's really interested in establishing the brand of Taemin. And I don't blame him, because I think that SHINee has always been a group of individuals with very independent goals. Had the whole sexual assault thing not happened with Onu would have been progressing further in his drama career. And so I see that definitely being a place that he wants to come back to when his military time is over. Minho is busy being perfect, and that's something he'll continue to do with or without SHINee. Key has definitely shown his growth as, a person who's got variety skill, who can do any kind of show. He could do a cooking show, he could do a fashion show, he could do a lifestyle show. Like, really and truly, the next step for Key is to be the Korean Oprah. Like, Korea needs the Key show, and it needs to be kind of like Hello Counselor, but also like Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, where like people write in and like, hi Key, the problem in my life is this, that, and the other, but also I could really use a makeover. And then Key shows up to their house, goes through their closet and starts tossing clothes, and then they have a sit down on the couch and they tell Key like their innermost secret, and Key gives them wise advice from a man who's heard it all. And then they go out shopping and they totally redo his outfits, and then Key gives his know-how tips, where he's like, cool tailoring tip: if the pants don't fit you, then you don't have to fit the pants, you can just do this. Like, I totally see that. Key, if Korea wasn't so damn biased against out celebrities, like, I could see Key, Joe Kwan, I don't want to name the other celebrities that I think would be the ones, but like Queer Eye for the Straight Guy featuring Key. Perfect. Or What Not to Wear featuring Key. The only thing is, I feel like Queer Eye for the Straight Guy instead of What Not to Wear, because I think Key would also be like, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a party where you're going to invite your best friends, but also you're going to confront the person who hurt your feelings. And we're also going to show you how to make the most delicious canapes. Like, I see that being what Key does, and I think it would be fantastic. Oh, I love it. He is adorbs, honestly. Absolutely, the way Taemin presents himself so differently for Korean and Japanese markets, both so controlled, and building a very specific story, a subunit wouldn't work. He would be an amazing TV person. Absolutely, because Key is good on everything he does. Like, he has personality, he has range. There's this 1 hour long program that's on YouTube right now with Key, and he's so good, and he's speaking all in English, and he just does not miss a beat. His personality is so America. Imagine a real world type of show in South Korea. Isn't that what Roommate was supposed to be? Am I wrong? He has the right presence for this kind of thing. Yeah, so I could totally see Key having like a lifestyle program where, he just takes somebody under his wing and he's like, I'm just going to make you better, and do all kinds of stuff, not just how to cook, how to dress, but also like, lifestyle tips, how to get a little art in your life, how to appreciate fine wine, things like that. Like, I just totally see him doing that. Or like, ooh, I know what Key's show is called. Okay. Hear me here. The show Key has is called Right When I Try to Give You My Idea, the Thing Cuts Off. So Key's show is called Pygmalion. And it's called Pygmalion because Pygmalion was the original play for My Fair Lady. And it's where this professor took a girl who had a really thick Cockney accent, and he transformed her both vocally and manners-wise into a beautiful, sophisticated woman, and then took her out in public and had everybody kind of fooled into thinking that she was a lady. So the transformation was Pygmalion. And I could see Key having a show called either Pygmalion or My Fair Key, and then people show up on the show and it's Key and a couple of his best friends or whatever, and the show starts with him reading the letter, and the letter is, hi Key, I'm a 32-year-old man, but I've never been in a serious relationship. I want to have a relationship, but I feel like the things that hold me down are that I don't have enough style and I don't know how to talk to women, and when I do talk to them, I have nothing to say. Can you help me not be so boring? And Key's like, I know how to fix this, fellas. Let's go. And then you hear the Batman music, and then all of a sudden they get out of this beautiful vehicle and they're at the doorstep of this person's house. And when Key first starts, like, okay, I read your letter, but first I gotta see who you are. So show me your closet, because the way to any man's soul is through the sole of his shoes, if you know what I'm saying. Ha! They go in, look at his shoe collection, start throwing out everything, look at his clothes, start throwing out everything, start pulling at his hair, start cutting everything. And then while they're in the barbershop, it's like, okay, so tell me about your confidence issues. What makes it to where you feel like you're not worthy to approach women? Why do you think you're still alone? And then just like totally the transformation. Like, I want this show. I want this show. He could totally do a makeover show. Like I said before, he's a fashionista. He's a fashionista. But I just think the show would be fantastic. I think everybody would watch. I would watch it. It would be perfect. It would be lovely. I think it could totally fit. And not only that, but like I think that it's a show that Korea needs, because I think definitely somebody like Key, who is very sensitive in terms of like the treatment of sexes. Like he's talked himself about like the reason why he does androgynous promotions. Like he did the Jill Stewart campaign where he was displaying the purses. And he's like, because I knew when it came to the industry, I had a place that I fit that no one else did. And so rather than trying to make myself appear more masculine, and I knew I could never be as handsome as the most handsome idol stars or whatever, I decided to be me. I decided to be the unique look that I have that no one else could replicate and market that. And he's just a very insightful person. And so I think it would be great for him to do this show, because instead of trying to encourage people to fit whatever the latest idol is trying to be, I think he would really sit down with people and he would look at them for who they are and find ways to amplify the beauty they already have and find ways to amplify the personality they already have. And that's why he would be so perfect. And I think he would send a message of, you don't have to conform to everybody else. You just have to find who you are and then make it louder. And that's why his show would be so great and so perfect for Korea. And I think it would really help a lot of people, because one of the things with the Me Too movement, I think a lot of Korean men see it as being a challenge to their masculinity and a challenge to their power structure. But I think a lot of men don't see how a lot of these oppressive things that happen in terms of the way that men and women relate in South Korea are actually keeping a lot of men down. And if he could show, like, if you can be the person who you really are with somebody, if you can be vulnerable with them from the start instead of trying to manufacture an image of strength or manufacture this image of somebody who you're not really, and you can actually give somebody your true self and they can accept that, you have a higher likelihood of entering into a relationship that's going to suit you for the remainder of your life, or at least the remainder of the time that you and this person are together. And so that's where I think it would really help, because it could show a lot of Korean men, you don't have to be the tsundere of the relationship. You can be just a regular dude with a regular woman and be happy. Or be a regular dude with a regular dude and be happy. Or be a regular girl with a regular girl and be happy. And that's why I think that that would be perfect for Key, and I think it would be perfect for society, because Key's perfect. You should be in the industry and lead the way for them. Your ideas and thoughts are amazing. Thank you. Right, and that's why I really grown to appreciate him as an individual person of SHINee. He seems like a very witty and sweet person who really embraces individuality. Yes, and I think that Key's grown. Key's grown now, and for so long when SHINee was younger, everybody always wanted to throw the term diva at Key, and it was because he knew girl dances and he had a very loud personality and was known for, you know, his quick wit and kind of sassiness. But as Key has gotten older, I think the sassy part of it and the diva part of it is gone. And it's not so much that Key is, you know, just fabulous or whatever. It's more like he is very aware of who he is. And so he operates with a lot of confidence. And I think the confidence is what labels him a diva. Because when you have too much confidence in yourself, other people will mark it as arrogant. He's not arrogant. He just has a lot of confidence because he knows himself very well. And he's been very successful in being who he is on multiple playing fields. And a lot of people don't get where that confidence can come from, but it's because he likes himself. And when you love yourself the way that he loves himself, it's easy to be confident. And I think he should do shows that help people love themselves the way that Key loves himself. And he's gone through a lot to get there as well. At first, he faked it until he could make it. But I think as of today, he really, really loves himself. I mean, he's never shied away from the fact that it was a process. He even admitted he used to cut. But now he's at a place where he is definitely more secure. And some of the things that Key has said over the last year or so, it is amazing how deep he has become. And also, FYI, when Key's done with his military service, I think Key's going to come out. He doesn't have to. He never has to. It's nobody's fucking business if he does or not. But I think that Key's not going to do anything to jeopardize his time in the military, because I think it's very important for him to prove that he can do it, get it through, and get it done. But I think once he gets out of it and he's proven he could do it, I think at that point he's going to have no reason to hide it anymore. But I think that he's been waiting to get through his military service, because if he had come out any time before, that would have been in jeopardy. And I think he needs to do it so he can say, you know, yeah, I am a gay man, but I am a man. I've done the same thing that you've done. Because in Korea, most people don't consider you a man until you've done your military service. So I think that he's going to do his military service. And once that's knocked out of the way, you can't tell him anything. It's done. But I also don't think that he would do that without consulting the rest of Shiny as well, just because he's not that kind of dude. So he might possibly wait until Taemin's done with his military service. But yeah, when he's done with his military service, that's when the time's going to come. I feel like Key and Swings will have an interesting conversation with each other. I also like to give the benefit that SM will support him if he does come out after. I think that SM will. I think that if anybody could get that support, it's him. Because people love Key. People love Key. And, you know, he has a very deep and broad network of celebrity friends. And I think because of that, there's a lot of people who would be willing to come to his defense. And I think that he could do it. I think he'll be the one. You know, there's got to be one in every generation. And if it's not him, it's going to be Jokwon. I think that Jokwon is also one who's just waiting until this military service is done, and then you won't be able to say anything to him. As it is, I think Key has been trying to give us hints. Like, there's a painting in Key's new apartment that's like Key as a robot, and there's all these penises coming out of the robot. It's kind of weird, but it showed prominently on this interview he did with, I think it was it Asian Boss? I can't remember who it was, but it was a YouTube interview. But yeah, I think he's been dropping tips here and there, but I think it's going to be either him or Jokwon, but it's time for somebody to take up that challenge. I think just like Me Too is a challenge that had to be taken, I think that Key's coming for it. I think he's coming for it, and I think we're ready. I think we're ready. And, you know, it may be that Key has to do what, there's another celebrity in Korea. He's a bald guy with glasses. I cannot remember his name now. Joe something or other. But he was outed by a tabloid. And he took that and he ran with it. He said kind of goodbye, good night. He said goodbye to the entertainment industry. He opened up a number of restaurants in Itaewon, and now he's back in the entertainment industry. He does cameos here and there. He guests on shows here and there, but he's made a ton of money as a restaurateur. And Key has got the kind of talent where he can fall back on anything. So I think that he can also do it because he's not tied to this idol thing. If the idol thing doesn't work out because people don't want a gay idol, fine. He can do anything else. So, you know, he's got the bag. The bag is secure, so he doesn't have to worry about that. He'll be fine. Well, I think it is time for me to go to bed because it is midnight. I will keep this live up for those who haven't had a chance to see it because, you know, I'm not ashamed of anything I said tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I think he'll still be a soloist in Japan because Japan's a lot cooler about this kind of stuff. So I think he'll be okay in Japan. I don't think it's not going to stop no show in Japan. But yeah, anyway, good night, everybody. Thank you for joining me. We've had a really good time. I think we talked about a lot of stuff. I at least got to cover what I'm buying. I didn't get to ask you guys what you're buying, but, you know, I guess you can leave it in the comments section if you feel so inclined. But thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. And as always, take care of yourself. It's very important. Protect your mental health because nowadays people is just wilding. All right.